what is causing this yet? I guess not. I mean, after 72 hours?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Because it works in the entirety of the building where it matters to work.
With the exception of
the studios. Where the product is actually being made.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So strange.
Yeah. Nobody won the Powerball up to $1.7 billion.
And I forgot to play. So now I have another chance. When's the next drawing? Saturday?
I don't know. I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay. So Friday.
I have no idea. Like I said, I don't take part in the dumb tax.
Me either.
But I'm going to this time around. I just forgot.
I forgot
the Wednesday dumb tax.
I'm going to. Wait a minute. Which is it?
Listen, it's dumb. Okay, if you play the lottery regularly, you're probably a mouth breather, which I can't really say a whole lot because I'm a mouth breather right now. Right. My nose doesn't work. All right.
I too am a mouth breather.
I too am a mouth breather with you. I am one of you.
That's right.
But this time around, I'm making an exception, and yes, I'm going to get over to my QT, my racetrack, whichever one I have to go to. I love you both.
Whichever one you pull up into.
And then I'm going to do what I always hate doing. I'm going to treat the attendee there, the person working the cash register, like a teller. Be like, oh, listen, I got like $10. Like, how much can I buy?
Yeah, give me whatever I can get with this.
And I won't know the difference. They'll be like, do you have any numbers? No.
Yeah, just
put them in there.
Populate. I've always heard that that's the people win more when you just let the lottery thing just pick it for you.
I think so.
Versus picking your own numbers. And I read that...
Because that just ensures you're a loser your entire life.
That you have your own lottery
You have your own lottery numbers and they never hit. Like, would that not be the most depressing thing ever?
Yes.
I have my same lottery numbers I play every single time, and it never hits over, let's say, a 40, 50-year period. Like, wouldn't you know at that point that you were not smiled on by the gods?
Yes, it does feel like it. You would probably take notice of that.
And if you did win, you won like $7. You were like, oh, look, I won $7 one time.
1 in 24.9 million odds of winning. And I did read this that because we talk about taxes a lot, that California, Florida, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming do not tax lottery prizes as a state. Obviously, the federal government does, and that's whatever, 24%, I think it is. No, they withhold 24% on your winning. Anything above $5,000, an additional 14.6 due at tax time. The total federal tax 37%.
Yes, that's your here's your initial right off the top, and then your capital gains on the back end.
But how about that states that don't tax? I didn't know that. I had no idea that there was a state that didn't tax lottery winnings.
I would imagine when I win, I have to play, of course.
Yeah.
So somebody remind me. I imagine that when I win, I will gladly say, okay, fine. Keep your 37%. I'll take the other part.
Whatever. Yes. It's still that's still a grip of money. Gosh, dude. And there are going to be people rushing out. This what, because there's nobody going to win. And
somebody's going to win.
At some point, somebody will. But that the next time it goes around, do we know what the highest Powerball ever? Wasn't it $2 billion? I feel like I remember there would be a big fervor around there being it being $2 billion one time. So, could this grow into the biggest of all time? And then, man, you want to talk about office pools and all the things that happen during lottery time, people just jumping in, diving in, because as it gets bigger, more people participate, which makes no sense because your odds go down.
Wouldn't that be the worst that I actually have to share it with my coworkers?
Yes.
I mean, I can think of nothing worse than having to look over at Mike Key, our promotions director, and go, so we're splitting this like 8 ways, right?
Yeah.
Where Mike Key actually gets a piece of my money because I'm the one who had the winning numbers.
Yes,
but I bought into a pool with the rest of you.
Right.
Frustrating.
Yeah, I don't really buy into the office pool either. Gosh, man. And I'm not anti-lottery. Go do whatever you want to. It's your money. I'm with you. I think it's dumb to play often. But if you're going to play, it makes more sense to play when there's fewer people playing. Like, instead of when it grows up to be billions.
You would think, because it does sound kind of crazy that I'm getting involved at the point where now it's 1 point whatever billion, and now there's a multitude of millions and millions and millions of players, whereas if I just am fine with the $8 million,
yeah,
which is life-changing enough as it is, maybe I'm only playing against 1 million people.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's the way to go. If you're going to do it, that's the way to go. But I don't know that everybody's going to agree with that, and their actions prove that they're not going to. Oh, well, good luck if you're going to play the lottery. Football continues to be the most popular sport in America. Baseball is number 2. And they don't break it down because NFL starts tonight, they don't break it down whether it's pro versus college or high school, whatever. It's just people interested in football. And football, the number 1 sport in America. Not surprising at all, because I know how much I love college football. And I'm a baseball. Baseball is my favorite sport for me, but definitely football, because you don't get as much of it. It's supply and demand. You know, you get one game a week as far as your team playing. You get one game a week. You know, Georgia plays on Saturdays or whatever for me, or if you're a Tech fan or Auburn or whomever. You get your team playing one game a week. In the NFL, same way, you get your team playing one game a week. And that it's just the scarcity of the product. You know, your team. And I think that's why America loves football so much, because you have to wait for your team every week, and there's just that build-up, that week-long wait. Am I right about that, Los, you think?
I like the nature of what happens when it comes to football, which is when you win on Saturday or Sunday, either one, you're never going to lose again. Ever, ever, ever.
Just in your heart, you mean? Like in your mind?
And when you lose on Saturday or Sunday, you're never going to win another football game ever again.
It's just the emotion.
Do you realize how weird it is for Alabama fans who got through after the game in Tallahassee?
Well, you're pushing some sensitive buttons this morning.
Let me tell you, they were manhandled. They got their asses kicked. Like, the program is on its way down. Okay,
there's no doubt about that.
Now here's what happened. By Sunday, Monday, they're all looking at themselves with like a toaster next to the bathtub going like, am I going to end it right now? By the time we got to Wednesday,
come back,
I was seeing Alabama fans, like the hardcore Alabama. Again, like I've got a parchment from Alabama.
Yeah.
I'm not like a hardcore Alabama fan. I'm like, I root for things to go well. It makes everything better for me.
Yeah.
But the hardcore Alabama fan, that's the person who by Wednesday was saying, you know, Kalen DeBoer's just setting them all up.
Dude, I saw this.
He's going to roll them from here on out. By the time they get to Georgia, they're going to stomp them, and they're not dropping another game the rest of the year. That is the crazy nature of football fans. You start by, we'll never win again, and by the end of the week, ooh, watch out for us.
You've rationalized it all. Yeah, the dude that I saw was like, this whole thing with Florida State, they did that on purpose.
They meant to do it. They're setting everybody up.
Dude, I've watched that video twice in a row. I was like, hang on.
Did you not think the person was nuts?
Yes, of course.
And he's not the only one.
Of course, yeah.
He's not the only one.
They have an unusual fan base for sure. But I mean, they've been conditioned that you win.
You've got one down the hall in our friend John Michaels that after Miami gets a home win over Notre Dame, he's fully convinced like they're never going to lose an entire game.
Yeah, right.
Which that was a team that lost 3 out of 4 to end the year and totally crapped the bed. But right now, hey, the you.
Yeah, I know, right.
It's like, you know what this ride is, man.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, should you be in the playoffs? Yeah. Do you think you'll win a national title? You haven't won one since 2001.
Yeah, maybe you could. Do you look good? Sure.
All right, you're a generation removed.
Yeah. All you need, all that has to happen is your quarterback get popped in the knee, and then everything changes.
That's what it is.
Dude, but which is why it makes it so great at the same time.
I'm going to be watching tonight, and I know I'm in for pain. Like, what am I signing up for tonight? Pain. I am a Cowboy fan who's not a Cowboy fan. All right? Like, I hate Cowboy fans. Like, they are the worst people on earth. They are right there with Laker fans and Yankee fans.
Yeah.
In fact, Laker fans probably number one. No, Cowboy fans number one as far as, like, the people you can't stand. Like, they're awful. They're idiots. They're so full of it. They're such morons. They don't understand salary caps. They don't understand what's going on. And then we got to all deal with Jerry Jones, which I've said – things will change when you're laying flowers at the grave of Jerry Jones. But will it? Okay, Stephen Jones will take over. It'll be his son. It'll all run the same way anyway.
Yeah.
So what am I watching tonight? An 8.5-point underdog that'll probably make the game close in the fourth quarter and then get whipped. I know what I'm in for.
At least you're honest. At least you're honest about it.
I know what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just hoping that George Pickens plays well, because now I got a Georgia receiver who helped do some big things for me when I was going to those games.
How about them dogs? I remember George Pickens. We were watching.
Meanwhile, I got to take on the entire Georgia roster for Philadelphia.
No kidding. It is the Philadelphia Dogs for sure. I remember the last time I saw George Pickens play live was that game against Georgia Tech. We happened to be down on the flats watching, and it was when he got in the fight.
Yeah.
Like it got ejected from the game.
Got ejected
immediately. I mean, it was like play 2 or something. And you're like, what just happened?
My last time was in Indianapolis. Remember, he had missed most of the year with the knee injury, and he got himself healthy enough to come back for the last game. Then he ran a go route, and everyone in the building went, oh my God, George Pickens just ran right past the Alabama defense and made a big play. And at that point, I'm like, things are feeling pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens tonight. But I'm not expecting big things. I'm just going to play Prize Picks. By the way, Prize Picks, where are you at? Prize Picks is advertising all over the entirety of this station with every other radio show. They're down the hall. I'm the original person of the endorsees. Like, let's go. Man. I'm ready to talk about this stuff.
You got to get do you have a contact?
Yeah.
You got to reach out and be like, dude,
they changed. The CEO changed. So things have altered a little bit.
Well.
But the little company that could from like a decade ago is now just a monster out there.
You said, are they based here?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
They're in the Tech Village.
Yeah.
They're they are a little ways down the road from us.
Man, where
really cool
are you, Prize Picks?
Let's go.
Banging on the door.
I want to talk about this.
Wondering what in the world that y'all are doing.
I need a promo code. We got to win some cashish.
That's right.
Which is just as good as money.
Yeah, which is even better, sound like to me. And it's probably better chance than winning 1.7
Yes, I will give you picks. And you know what happens when I give you picks and they don't work out? You have somebody to complain at. When you just randomly generate just numbers over at your local store, there's nobody you can complain to.
Dude, speaking of complaining, this is completely off the subject. Did you see where Fed Governor Lisa Cook was complaining and blaming her problems on Joe Biden for picking her and not vetting her well enough? That's what her lawyer said. Her lawyer said they should have vetted her better.
I have said this a number of times. I do not like that we turn every situation into, well, they're a DEI hire. Like, I don't care for that. There are people that are qualified to do their jobs, and then when they screw up or we don't like something they do, immediately go, well, they're a DEI hire. She's a DEI hire.
No, yeah.
And only in a world of DEI could somebody who's so unqualified then point at the person that hired her and say, "Didn't you know I was so unqualified? Didn't you vet me better?
You didn't pay much attention." That's exactly what I'm trying
to put. How DEI must you be?
Here's the word from her lawyer. Senators or the White House advisors could have inquired about her alleged financial inconsistencies. That's what her lawyer said. Physically, it should have been someone else who asked her all the right questions.
She did it. She had a multitude of mortgages that were...
Which her lawyer just admitted to.
Which are based on mortgage fraud. There's people who have been to the houses that she has bought under primary loans, and they are being rented out to other people. And she didn't live in them for the specified amount of time in order to qualify for a primary loan. She did it. It's mortgage fraud.
Absolutely.
She's not even debating it.
Exactly. Her lawyer now trying to blame somebody else. Unreal is what it is. But we'll get more into the conversation. But I just, when you talked about shifting blame, I was like, oh my God, the one that I saw last night, the one that blew me away is that one. And then y'all told me to watch Breaking Bad. I had 2 episodes in. It was just too dark for me. I couldn't.
Oh, it is. Yes, you got to go down that road.
Yeah, I couldn't continue. I was like, I'm out. What was
the part that bothered you? Walter White in his underwear with a gun?
No, it was
the whole cancer diagnosis.
No, it's just all of it.
Having the gangbangers come after him.
Yeah,
having to decide what to do about that.
The dissolving people's bodies and falling through the roof.
Was it not funny when Jesse obviously did it in the bathtub and it dissolved through what it threw and just the look on Walter White's face?
Ugh. So yeah, it was
you're so early on, and you got that wonderful moment of Jesse melting the floor.
Yeah, it was it. So I was just out. I was done.
It's like been a decade since I've watched this, and yet I still remember those scenes.
Yeah, I just seared in my mind too. Janine Pirro standing in front of all of those drugs, the precursors to making methamphetamine, look like a scene out of Breaking Bad. Holy cow, dude! That was. It's like reality. It meets fiction. It's different than it's almost real. It is real.
When I first saw it, like my initial thought was, well, why is she in there?
Yeah.
What are with all those drums?
What you doing in there?
Like, that's kind of different. Yeah. And then as she's explaining it, you go, oh my God.
Oh, heavens. What the world?
I mean, she's got, just let's guess it, what, 40 or 50 just barrel drums
Blue
around
barrels.
her?
Yeah.
Blue barrels around her that's all chemicals for making drugs.
It is nuts, dude. It was nuts. It looked like something out of a TV show. And Jure brought it up this morning, too. He was like, holy cow, did you see this? I'm like, yeah, dude. Unbelievable that this happens in the United States of America. And you wonder why Donald Trump put freaking guns on that drug boat coming out of Venezuela. Because that's what they're wanting to do.
And I did enjoy yesterday. You know, what right does he have to do? Listen, they were already designated as terrorists. If you don't like it, well, J.D. Vance had to deal with it. Yeah. Donald Trump had to deal with it. There were people that, then mostly it was libertarians. Libertarians, like, please, get in the game. Stop being a bunch of meows.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to sit back and be like, oh, he shouldn't have done that. You know, it's different when Barack Obama killed a 16-year-old kid. All right, these are designated terrorists. They're drug runners.
Yeah.
All right? If you made a mistake, maybe one or two of them on the board, maybe on board with them, they were just people they were fishermen. They were just there to drive the boat.
Yep. You drove the wrong boat.
You drove the wrong boat. Okay? I hate to be flippant with life, but that's just how it is.
Dude, we did drug ops. As I said, USS South Carolina, we did drug ops down. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yes.
There's no question. Everybody on that boat knew what they were doing.
It's like everybody who gets all excited about some guy, robs a bank, shoots a teller, and then the driver's the one who gets life as well for being a murderer. And everyone's like, yeah, you should have known better. Well, you're on that boat. You should have known better.
Absolutely. I'm glad Trump fixed that little red wagon. It needs to happen more and more and more until people actually have a healthy fear of bringing drugs and running drugs. It makes perfect sense to me.
They're worried about getting Call of Dutied.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it looked like.
As they should have, and as they should continue, as that nice carrier group sits off the coast of Venezuela, just menacing, saying, "Go ahead. You've already seen what's happened once. Continue it. You'll be next."
The leader's a cartel leader.
Yeah, right. Of course, it's Maduro in Venezuela, the president, so-called president down there. 6 o'clock hours brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. When we continue, he was a con man, but he was also right about Obama. Story time with Front Office Los is next.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Extra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Extra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Hey, good morning. It's Los. Let's talk about Tom, the honest car guy. HonestCarGuy.com. HonestCarGuy.com. Now, what is Tom able to do for you? Well, when it's time to find yourself a new vehicle, Tom, listen, I brag about Tom. Tom doesn't brag a lot. But Tom will flat out tell you, 1960 to 2025, you tell him what the vehicle is, make and model, he's going to be able to put it in your driveway. I've even asked him, Tom, what if it's all the way across the country? He's like, give me 72 hours, it'll be in your driveway. Tom is able to offer you financing. He's got some of the best banks that work with him. Also trade-ins. He's got you covered there. All you have to do is give Tom the make and model of the vehicle you want, and then he goes to work. Now, if you want to be part of the process, you want to sit on the computer while Tom goes about this, hey, he's cool with that. Not a problem. If you just want to send off Tom and say, Tom, this is what I need, come back and let me know what you got. he'll do that too. You're going to save time. You're not going to spend all weekend in a dealership haggling back and forth. Let me go meet with my manager. You're not going to have to deal with any of that. You're going to know exactly what the price is on the vehicle, and you're going to be able to avoid all the dealership fees that dealerships tack on. And what happens by the time that you figure out what the vehicle is, what the price is, you're going to be able to purchase that vehicle, and all you owe Tom is the honest fee, the honest car guy fee, the, hey, Tom, thanks for putting the work in. Here's the fee for you. That's what he's doing it for. That's going to save you thousands of dollars in the long run. You can make a comparison. You can go and call around and say, like, oh, what's this vehicle going to cost me? Tom's going to save you thousands on that transaction. Go ahead and give him a call. 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Atlanta without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Atlanta for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FLIP to 64,000. Atlanta is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Atlanta and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FLIP to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FLIP to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FLIP to 64,000.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, 1 second chance at a time. This week's guests are FBI Special Agent in Charge Paul Brown and FBI Special Agent Charles Orgbon Jr. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
When I first started using a CPAP, getting supplies and equipment was a horrible hassle. It pretty much stayed that way until I discovered CPAPs, etc.com. Same-day shipping on anything you might need, including travel CPAPs, hoses, masks, you name it. Same-day shipping. CPAPsETC.com or visit their store in Alpharetta. So easy, and you could be preserving your health and saving your life.
Fox on Football. I'm Jared Max. The waiting was the hardest part for NFL fans, but this evening the wait ends. For the first time in 208 days, an NFL game of meaning. The regular season kicks off in Philadelphia, where the Eagles will raise a championship banner at Lincoln Financial Field to honor last season's team, which beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But the Eagles' 2025 team won't be part of this ceremony.
Yeah, I didn't know it was banner night. We won't be out for that.
Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni will keep his players in the locker room tonight, while Eagles fans celebrate the accomplishment of last season's team. This year's roster includes 20 players who were not part of Philadelphia's Super Bowl run. The Eagles are heavily favored against the Dallas Cowboys tonight, kickoff 8:20 Eastern Time. Dallas has a new head coach with Brian Schottenheimer. Cowboys went 7-10 last season, missed the playoffs. Another NFL game tomorrow in Sao Paulo, Brazil, between the Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. Jared Max, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Thursday, September 4th. A Georgia state representative has filed a Title IX lawsuit against a high school in Marietta. Georgia Representative John Carson filed the complaint with the U.S. Department of Education against Pope High School because he says boys are allowed to be on the roster of more than one sports team at one time, while girls are not. Carson specifically named the girls' varsity basketball team in the complaint. Equifax is planning a major expansion at its Windward Concourse campus in Alpharetta. The company is investing $25 million to expand its data center space. The new investment is said to bring over 200 new jobs to the area. Once the expansion is complete, the campus will be Equifax's largest office space. And today marks 1 year since the tragic shooting at Appalachia High School that left 4 dead and 9 wounded. The school is open today for a day of service for students instead of the normal class schedule. There'll be a vigil this evening around the school's flagpole to honor the victims of the shooting. Today's weather mostly sunny with some warmer temperatures in the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
So when a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, you're getting that school class list together. They probably wanted a box of 24 standard Crayola crayons, maybe some washable markers that the teacher can use at the front of the class, notebooks, wide rule, spiral bound. That's pretty typical. Number 2, Ticonderoga pencils. I remember having to buy those specifically. If you have some of that handy, you didn't send all of them to school, get them out now because you need to take notes. It's story time.
Settle in and get comfortable, folks. It's story time with Uncle Los.
You know, right now my biggest difficulty is looking at 2 different bottles of water. These are like dark bottles, and I don't remember which one's water and which one is the liquid IV that's going to make me like bounce out of this chair for about the next hour. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, okay, which one is which? I don't want to find out the wrong way.
Just guzzle both of them, man. You'll be fine.
I guess that's what's going to happen, just trying to get rid of this cold. Just how it goes. Story time is brought to you by Jure and Tug and You America. Thank you very much. All right, I want to start off by talking about 2 men. And I'll just be very clear about it. Both of them are dead. All right, so we don't have to worry about if we're tarnishing a legacy or we're discussing, something that's wrong about them. But I want to take you back to 2006, where a man was elected as the Attorney General for the state of Delaware. And this man was a legacy. People knew who he was. And this is speculation on my part, and I'm going to point that out. But I believe that he firmly understood what that job meant. It meant to protect the party. It meant to protect the family. It meant to protect the name and protect the business. All right, so that's one man. There's another man that was born in 1961. And this man, to call him troubled would be very limited. This was a man who spent 16 years in prison. He was a con artist. He was a confidence man. In fact, I don't know about Jerry or Tug. Have you ever had various aliases that weren't tied into working in radio? Like you weren't ever known as like Jerry Belvedere, right?
Right.
There wasn't any point where people are like, so Jure, you're Jure Anderson now, huh? Like,
no, Timber used to call me Quarter Pounder, but that's
again, strictly for radio.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So this man actually had IDs and was known as Larry Avila. He was also known as, if you want to kind of draw the differences in the two, Mohammed Gahanan. Okay, so Larry Avila. Mohammed Gahanan, all right?
God.
The guy was a career criminal. He was 5'7", but perhaps the most important thing about him for this story, he was a very small gay man, okay? Now, it'll make sense to you in just a matter of minutes, because that same man on November 6th and November 7th of 1999 had a claim. Those were the dates that he claimed. And what he claimed was that he hooked up with, had sex and cocaine with then State Senator Barack Obama.
Oh, I remember this guy.
That man was Larry Sinclair. Again, 16 years in prison, a con artist, a confidence man, but here was the deal. Now, there's nothing new ever about having these people suddenly come out of nowhere to blame you for an act that may or may not have happened from years ago to try and derail you. For instance, if we remember, if you go back to, let's say, Christine Blasey Ford, she was the woman that they tried to use to derail the Kavanaugh appointment to the Supreme Court. She had the tiny baby girl voice that she was interviewed in. She was coached to use it. By the time it was all over with, it never worked. Then she started talking like a regular person again. But she was basically told, talk like this like it stunted your growth, like it stunted your development.
Yeah.
In 1991, we had Anita Hill. who accused Clarence Thomas during his confirmation of sexual harassment. In 2000, and this would be one that's lost to history, Margie Schodinger. Now, who's Margie Schodinger? Well, she went ahead and had a rape allegation against then Texas Governor George W. Bush. The case was ultimately dismissed. She came across as crazy. The woman eventually killed herself. Again, jeez. All of these were there to derail a push for office. So I want to take you back then to the date of June 18th of 2008. Now, why does that one particularly matter? Larry Sinclair decided to hold what otherwise you could be called as like a circus press conference, okay? It was at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., and he decided to tell the world, this is what he was going to point out, I hooked up with now Democrat nominee Barack Obama. How on 2 different occasions, Obama arrived in a car, they picked him up, he went through the whole story of what he was looking for. In this case, they took drugs, they had sex, but there was something else that Sinclair also brought up during this time period. That is a dead choir instructor named Donald Young. Now, Donald Young was a deacon and a choir instructor at the Trinity United Church of Christ. Now, Trinity United Church of Christ, Tug, does that ring any bells for you at all? If it doesn't, it's okay. But
yeah, it doesn't, to be honest. Refresh my memory.
That was the church that was, the primary reverend was Jeremiah Wright.
Oh, look, that's the dude that said GD America. And I remember having this argument with someone. I was like, I've never heard a pastor use GD. This is a first for me.
This was the church of Barack Obama, where he spent 2 decades. He claimed that he didn't pay any attention to the, in this case, black liberation theology. Yeah. What occurred here? Well, Donald Young, he was found murdered in his home in December of 2007. Shot multiple times, but ultimately execution style in the back of his head. And Donald Young's mother did an interview back in 2010 with the Globe. And she talked about her son's relationship, sounds sexual, with Barack Obama. Young had contacted Larry Sinclair, the same 5'7" Larry Sinclair who'd been in prison for 16 years. He told him that he too had been picked up by Obama and that they had drugs and sex. And that's what it ends up being. So let's fast forward back to June 18, 2008, the National Press Club, Larry Sinclair, the circus event that he's having. And here's what he's talking about. Well, here's what happens. He gets arrested on the spot. Okay? Like, he got apprehended and arrested on the spot. There were files and there were charges that had been filed against him out of Delaware by an attorney general named Beau Biden.
Oh, wow. Boy, that rings a bell.
The district attorney of Delaware. Remember, protect the party, protect the family, protect the name, protect the business. Now, eventually, all those charges involving Beau Biden ended up being dropped by the state of Delaware. And what happens? On October 4th, 2008, Barack Obama is elected president of the United States as one of the most mysterious figures out of nowhere in American politics. A very Manchurian candidate feel, selected to promote perhaps America's destruction from within. And we would later be told, as we've now had a lot of fun with it, that Obama's wife may not exactly be who we claim and she claims to be. You can go down to Emory and read letters to his girlfriend about how he's always fantasized about men on a daily basis. You can't even get started about talking about his chef who died in a pond that averaged 3 to 4 feet of water, but the area he just happened to drown in was 7 to 8 feet.
Of course.
So think about what you will about all that stuff. But the reason why I bring that up, Larry Sinclair died over the weekend. Now, he was a con man. He was a criminal. He had cases in Colorado, Florida, South Carolina. He was a check forger. But according to Sinclair, on one night, he tried to reach out to Barack Obama. He got no response. He was ignored. And so what did he end up doing? He ended up basically telling the world, this is what happened with me, and there's other people that he's had this relationship with. Again, the modus operandi is, hey, Barack Obama picks you up in the car, and this is what you go do.
That hasn't really changed. That really hasn't gone away. But the guy who claimed that this initially happened to him, he's now gone away. He's now past that story time.
Goodness gracious. I just pulled up an article from Politico, and it is just a complete blasting of Larry Sinclair. Obama's accuser has a long rap sheet, and it goes through all the things that you've listed and went through. 27-year criminal record with specialty in crimes involving deceit. It's just like, they just attack him on every level. There's not anything in here that says maybe he could be right, even though all this is true. It still could be right.
I wouldn't say that this is like for some reason people imagine like Pretty Woman. Okay, this isn't reverse Pretty Woman. As it turns out, the hooker doesn't have the heart of gold, and there's probably some crime that she's committed. She probably has a record. Larry Sinclair was that hooker.
But can everything he said still be true? And the answer is yes.
It's a possibility, and it'll always be a possibility. So much so that even Tucker Carlson had him on his program about a year and a half ago, where Larry Sinclair went through everything once again and talked about all the stuff that had gone on between him and Barack Obama, the details he got into. Is he truthful? I don't know. You know, is it kind of a crazy story? Yeah. Is the choir director a crazy story for having a relationship with him and then turning up dead when Barack Obama's political career started taking off? Yeah, that's crazy. Is the chef story crazy? Yeah. Is Michelle Obama, man? I don't know.
But there's just a long trail of things that you have to at least entertain. You have to at least ask yourself to get to this point. And when you have to go through all these stories, you can't tell me everything is fake.
Did Joan Rivers say that Barack Obama was gay? Yeah, she did.
She did.
Is the community turning on him by calling him Mr. Obama and Mr. Obama?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's just another one of those stories that it now has its final ending. And Larry Sinclair, who had a long-time illness, he's now no longer with us. And so anyone who's ever looked to, all right, let's go to Larry Sinclair and see if he's still telling the same story. He told the same story for years and years and years. And again, it's Shakespearean. Just because he is the fool, the crook, the con man, doesn't mean he wasn't being truthful about this, or maybe he was lying about that. Either way.
I've always heard that a drunk man's thoughts or a drunk man's words are a sober man's thoughts. You know what I mean? Where people just lose their inability to not tell the truth. Do they slur it a little bit? Yeah, but when they have a couple, they're going to lay it on the line. It's happened a million times. I've seen it play out a few times, and maybe have even been the person telling the truth when I shouldn't have been sipping on that brown liquor. You know what I mean? And you say things, you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I hadn't been so honest there. But and I got nothing in common with Sinclair necessarily, but he did challenge Barack Obama to a polygraph. Barack Obama smartly, intelligently said, no, I'm not going to do that. But it does make you wonder why. You know what I mean? If you're so confident, why wouldn't you?
I mean, he is the only living person, as far as a man, who accused Barack Obama of this. So that if you want to put a column in the I don't think so, he's the only living man who accused Barack Obama of this. Now, again, we got letters of what he says he's into.
Absolutely.
And we have, and so
that doesn't surprise me at all. That part, the stuff that's in the Barack Obama collection down at Emory University. You know, the people have gone in there, read the stuff, went through the stuff, even written about it. We've had it on the show a few times when they did that. That part doesn't surprise me at all. I think, obviously, that's true. It's his own words. It's his own letters. It's stuff that he has admitted to in letters to his girlfriend. I believe that a lot more than I believe Michelle's a man. I will go on record saying.
Well, I think a lot of this becomes a lesson in what goes on with the media. Barack Obama was the most unvetted president in the history of this country up until we had 2020 when Joe Biden couldn't function, and yet the media made sure not to vet that as well. That is your giant lesson of, oh, these people aren't who they say they are. Well, why do they have to be? The media's not going to challenge them on it.
Exactly right. We just go along with the narrative, and we tell them what to say, and they will. It's amazing how this works. And when we continue, the education continues as well. Keep those pencils out because they're going to educate you on the danger of Paxlovid on Extra 106.3 in the Morning Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, September 4th. The Atlanta Braves, well, their 2-game losing streak is now over as the Bats woke up in Chicago after being no hit for 6 innings. The Braves ended up beating the Cubs 5-1. The final, new Braves shortstop Ha-Sung Kim with a 3-run homer in the 7th inning to break things open. The team is now off today before returning home for a weekend series with the Seattle Mariners beginning tomorrow night. The NFL, it returns tonight as the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will host the Dallas Cowboys to kick off the season from Philadelphia for Thursday Night Football. The Eagles are an 8.5-point favorite tonight. Kickoff is set for 8:20. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
I've been asked to go with Chuck and the team over at Central Heating and Air Conditioning to deliver a check, a very big check with a very big number of about $10,000. And that number is very big, and the check is going to be like Happy Gilmore style. You know, give me one of those big checks. I don't care. It's going to be one of those big checks, and we're going to take it to Skyland Trail, all because you, during and leading up to July, signed up for so many maintenance agreements with Central Heating and Air Conditioning. It was such a good plan. You benefited. Skyland Trail, which focuses on mental health awareness and mental health, getting people the help that they need when they're struggling with those mental health issues. So it's just a win-win all the way around. So I'm looking forward to joining Chuck and his team to deliver that big old check. And it's not too late. Look, the Christmas in July part is over. Yeah, we're delivering the check. But if you need to make sure that your house is not uncomfortable, like it's bad at work when you come in and the AC ain't working right, but imagine what it'd be like if it were your home and you couldn't go to sleep because it's so hot in the bedroom. That would be the worst. Don't deal with that. Get a maintenance agreement. They come out a couple times a year. Do the tune-up, do the maintenance, and make sure that your AC, and then when we get into the winter, your heat works just as it's supposed to. Energy efficiency is a priority, and operating correctly is so very important. Nobody wants to lose the heating or the air. Get a maintenance agreement today. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
Oh no, what is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own, but I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
Pete Davis here. Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. And the best part, you can play right now here in Georgia. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, passing yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And you can start with as little as $1. I play too. This season, I'm looking at Michael Penix Jr. to go higher on touchdown projections and Drake London to go higher on receiving yards. It's simple. It's fun. And and it keeps me locked into every play. Download the app today and sign up with promo code 1063 to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code 1063. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog, and you can be next. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Georgia. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
This is House Call for Health. A study suggests most doctors ignore guidelines when prescribing attention deficit hyperactivity disorder medication to preschoolers. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends preschoolers diagnosed with ADHD first get 6 months of behavioral therapy before being prescribed drugs. However, the study finds that was followed in only around 14% of U.S. cases involving children ages 3 to 5. Researchers tracking the treatment of more than 9,700 kids, more than 42% got a prescription for an ADHD medicine within a month, just 14% after the recommended 6 months of therapy. Experts say therapy helps build coping skills and habits that are in sync with how kids' brains work. However, immediate use of a stimulant medication could lead to increased side effects, including aggression or irritability. This study was published in the JAMA Network Open Medical Journal. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Is there any other leader in the world's history that you have ever heard of who's anything like what Donald Trump has been doing and be able to accomplish?
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Xtra. Listening on the app, appreciate it. Listening at extra1063.com, thank you. 1063 FM, 1230 AM, we appreciate it. And of course, if you're streaming on the YouTube channel, we wave at you and say good morning. And Los is
hello, good morning.
He's a little snotty, but I mean it's just
not as bad as yesterday, but it's still there.
But it's there. But if you're on YouTube, you probably get to see it a little more because with radio, obviously turn off the microphone, nobody knows the difference. If they're watching, they get to see it all.
So the night before, when we did the show yesterday, I went to bed at about 7:30 that night. Slept all the way through the night. NyQuil's amazing, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Woke up at like 4:15 in the morning, was wide awake. I waited a little while to text you guys like, hey, listen, I still feel like crap. So got through the show, immediately went back up to bed. I slept from 10 to like 12:30, then again from like 2 to 4:30, and then again from like 5 to like 5:45, 6 o'clock.
That's great, though, because that's what your body needs.
That's all. And by the time I got up the last time, I was like, okay, now I feel back to normal. I'm just extremely snotty. So
I know when we were texting back and forth, you're like, I'm going to get some fresh air.
I just need to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Like I just needed to get some air because it was just stuck inside all day.
Yeah, man. There's nothing worse.
Yeah.
That's why we love our front porch is our favorite thing on the house. Just rocking chairs in a swing, man. It's like we're like the Cracker Barrel people. I mean, we literally do what people.
Mom and Paul just out there,
dude. That's it, man. I'm telling you, we are like
with a golf tee game,
a combination of the Beverly Hillbillies.
I got it wrong again, Ma.
and the Andy Griffith Show. Throw in some Sanford and Son just for good measure. That's us at our house.
I just like the fact that this is my joke. This is y'all two play Pictionary together.
It's not far off, man. It is not far off. We do love board games.
Is it it's just them two, huh? They're just playing Pictionary out front again.
It's not themselves up here. I can't figure it out. You draw terrible. But
it's Moby Dick. The answer's Moby Dick.
How do you get that wrong? It's so clear.
I drew a whale.
It's hard to mess that up. I don't know what's wrong with you. Clearly, you're dumb or something. And then it starts a fight, and the game ends there. But
and she's got like Battle of Antietam.
That's right.
You're just upset.
Yeah.
You didn't draw the muskets right. I would have gotten Antietam.
How would I have known that was the Battle of Antietam? There's no way to know that with whatever that crap you've drawn there is. I mean, you look like a 4-year-old with markers. You're terrible at this.
And all right on the front lawn.
Yeah, the neighbors like,
again, what did we say with Neil Bortz when we started talking about the only time that it's like if you fight with your wife out on the front lawn, that's when like maybe you're a little different for the neighborhood.
Dude, let me tell you, I don't know what's going on. We got a neighbor. I don't even know if I should bring this up, to be honest with you.
Oh, no.
I don't think they listen, so it ain't going to matter. But
it'll get around to them. This show is popular.
I know it is. So I'll just say, I don't know what's going on, right? I have no idea. But one day, this little kid comes out of the door, and he's probably, I don't know, 8 or 9, maybe 10 at the oldest. And he is screaming back into his house in some unmentionable words. I'm like, good Lord, you hear that, kid? And hollering into the house. And then he takes like his mama's flower pant that's on the front, the front step, and just gives it a chuck. I was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It reminded me when you talk about us fighting in the front yard. This kid was demolishing everything. He was so mad. I don't even know what he was mad about. And then finally, Daddy comes out there and he's like, you better start acting right, da-da-da-da-da. And the boy was like, F you. I was like, good Lord.
See, this is how I kind of vet things. So my wife and I have been in our house about 5 months. We may have had 2 disagreements over silly stuff.
Yeah, sure.
None of it's in public.
No, of course not.
All right? Like that's
why would you ever take it in public?
Exactly. It's like, don't do it on the front lawn. Don't do it. There was a moment the other day where we're at a high school volleyball game, and I'm the one trying to get clarification. She's like, stop, don't do this here. Don't do. And I'm like, I'm not even mad. Why are you? She's the one who gets animated.
No, got it.
But don't you hate when somebody else is the one who gets animated, yet they're telling you to calm down?
Yeah. Calm down! Screaming at you to calm down.
Like, I'm the one who's looking over going, you need to calm down.
What do you mean?
I'm the one who's trying to figure this thing out, and you're telling me, like, well, don't get animated.
Dude, I've never seen...
We're not doing this here. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Why are you so crazy?
You know those Georgia Bulldog, those little concrete Georgia Bulldogs that people sit on their front porch?
Sure.
You can get them at Home Depot or whatever. This kid, and those things are heavy, this kid picks it up and just gives it a chuck, and they're kind of down a hill. That thing's rolling down there. I was like, what am I seeing? I couldn't believe what I'd seen.
They have to trank that kid.
Dude, I'm telling you, something is not right. I don't know what's going on. I feel like he may be acting. I think there may be some sort of marital problems there, and I think he's acting out because of that. That's my guess as to what's happening down the street from us, but I could be wrong about that. Anyway, you can't help but you observe things. Obviously don't say a word. We just, when all that was going on, I just kind of went back in the house and act like I wasn't part of it. Act like I didn't see anything. We try to educate people on this show, not only about our crazy neighbors and the conversations we have, but about the drugs that get discussed and the drugs that get pushed.
We tell you when it sucks.
Yeah, and Paxlovid sucks.
I'm glad that this is now going to be looked at. I'm so glad the CDC is getting a complete overhaul.
Me too.
When HHS has 100 people that start saying, you know what, I'm going to quit over Robert F. Kennedy Jr., good. Go quit. If you want to sign a letter about how upset you are, good. Now we know who needs to go. Because when you look at what has happened in the last 5 years, especially when it comes to any of these drugs, Paxlovid was always an awful drug when it came to COVID. Paxlovid was basically a reformulated AIDS drug, okay? Now, this is not from me. I always tell you, this is from Mary Talley Bowden. Now, she, when you want to talk about some of the caretakers on the front lines, she had like 5,000 people she was taking care of as a doctor in Texas. I think she had like one person that passed away. Like, she was really on the cutting edge of treatment. And she ended up pointing this out as of 2 days ago. Paxlovid has 44 severe drug interactions, contains an HIV drug with a black box warning. Of course, black box warning is when you know it's potentially deadly, is toxic to the liver and kidneys, and is poorly tolerated due to the metallic taste, has a 20% incidence of rebound. Remember when we'd always talk about, oh, they had a rebound, and I was like, oh, because they're taking Paxlovid, and Paxlovid sucks. Now, here's the one part that Mary Talley Bowden points out, and here's the reason why it was always given to you. And costs $1,700.
Oh, well, jackpot. There you go. Not what's best for you, what costs the most and benefits the pharmaceutical company.
The United States FDA needs to educate the public on this. Mary, I am right there with you.
Amen, sister.
Been talking about this for a number of years. There are drugs that cost considerably less, yet Paxlovid was the standard of care. In fact, that was the crazy part that we went through. For the longest time, they told you there was no standard of care until they came up with it and they made it profitable.
Dude, I watched this morning, watched a 10-minute clip of a CNN panel discussion last night. And the topic was vaccines and pharmaceuticals and all this. And the CNN panel, aside from Scott Jennings, and Ben Ferguson was also on there. And they were complaining about the fact that the CDC is untrustworthy. And the panel on CNN wouldn't even agree that the CDC has damaged his reputation. They wouldn't even give in on that.
It's toast.
Dude, completely
it needs
gone.
to be redone.
These clowns wouldn't even admit that we have reason to question everything the CDC does. It's ridiculous. CNN couldn't wait to ask the Epstein victims one question. It did not go as they had hoped.
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Hey Braves Country, Tom Glavine here. Want to drive like a champion? Start with a clean car from Tidal Wave Auto Spa. With cutting-edge equipment and elite customer service, it's more than a car wash, it's a win. Experience the ultimate clean at Tidal Wave Auto Spa, my go-to car wash destination and the official car wash of the Atlanta Braves.
My car is happy, I am happy, Tidal Wave Auto Spa.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We have become a highly sought-after turf installation company in the Atlanta and North Georgia luxury residential market. Big reason for that is our installers are ATL Turf Co. employees. We do not outsource labor. They are trained to be experts in the turf installation process, drainage, grading. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
It's September 4th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is National Wildlife Day. Founded in 2005 to honor the memory of wildlife conservationist Steve Irwin, the day is meant to bring awareness to the plight of so many fish and wildlife species which are in danger of disappearing forever due to climate change, deforestation, and encroachment by man. So take some time to learn how you might be able to help nature in your part of the world. Also on this date, in 1882, Thomas Edison presented the first successful commercial lighting and power system when he switched on the lights at Pearl Street Station in the lower Manhattan section of New York City. And in 1972, game show The Price is Right debuted on CBS. If it's your birthday today, you share it with pop icon and singer Beyonce Knowles, born in 1981. I'm Tushar Saxena, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Van Sant Law, vansantlaw.com.
There's new vaccine controversy. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's in Florida this time.
What you put into your body is because of your relationship with your body and your God. I don't have that right. Government does not have that right.
That is State Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo, who says they'll work to become, in Florida, the first state to get rid of all childhood vaccine mandates. Some Democrats in Florida call that dangerous. The American Medical Association, in a statement, says ending mandates would undermine decades of public health progress. And Democrats could give Robert F. Kennedy Jr. a hard time when the Health and Human Services Secretary testifies at a Senate hearing this morning over his vaccine skepticism and the recent firing of the CDC director and other HHS public policy changes. But White House advisor Callie Means tells Fox
the CDC has overseen a Chernobyl-level failure with their COVID response and what's happening to child chronic disease. They receive an F on their goal of controlling disease. And Secretary Kennedy is going to go in there today, talk about that choice for the American people of status quo versus reform.
Today, President Trump will keep up his push to end Russia's war, talking again to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky as Russian leader Vladimir Putin remains non-committal on direct talks with Zelensky like President Trump's been pushing for. A win in court for Harvard, challenging the billions of dollars in federal funding stripped away. A federal judge ruled that was illegal and violated Harvard's First Amendment rights.
Judge Allison Burroughs says the record makes it difficult to conclude anything other than the administration used anti-Semitism as a smokescreen for a targeted, ideologically motivated assault on the country's premier universities. President Trump accuses Harvard leadership of ignoring threats and harassment of Jewish and Israeli students amid campus-wide protests against the war in Gaza.
Fox's Jared Halpern. The Powerball fortune's even bigger. No one hit the jackpot last night, so it's grown to $1.7 billion for Saturday. America's list.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. No, you better sit this one out. It's no way to live. So if pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help get you back to life on your terms. One where you say yes a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients does not just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, joints, or muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. So call 1-800-4RELIEF and give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day to get your life back. Just go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. And see how you can say yes to more of everything you want.
Get the Extra 106.3 app.
Yeah, I got your app. I'm so glad Conservative Talk is back on the air.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Xtra. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. Appreciate you being here. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. Jump into the conversation anytime you see fit, because you're always welcome on this show. Agree with us or not. We welcome all angles, all points of view, because that furthers the discussion. It's actually a good thing when we dive deep into topics and have differing points of view. And occasionally we do here on the show. But that number, 404-741-1230. NBC, they had it. They were like, yep, this is what's going to kick it all off. This is going to be the fireworks. We cannot wait to ask one specific question to the Epstein victims panel that had been assembled.
Before we jump into this, did you not find this completely shady all the way across the board?
Yeah, everything about it. Like, because there was no actual announcement. They didn't say anything really. There was nothing that came out that we
got tuned in.
Yeah, thinking maybe.
Out of curiosity.
You can't help but it.
I spent yesterday during the show talking about how we had 33,000 documents that had been released. You could go through Anna Paulina Luna's Twitter page, her X page, and you could access now. It was hard to download them. It was a big pain in the butt. Mm-hmm. But here are all these documents, and I said it was crickets. No one was saying anything.
Yeah, it wasn't trending anywhere.
None of the news networks
about it.
None of the news networks. Like, wait a minute, you just had 33,000 pages that dropped of information, and there was nothing.
And this was a topic that you couldn't quit talking about.
Right. This was supposed to be the end-all, be-all. In fact, I still remember the person on Twitter who was, we just need to get to the bottom of this. I was like, you haven't talked about this until 2 weeks ago. I was like, this is only about damaging Donald Trump. This isn't about justice. This isn't about getting
victims' rights,
Me Too, any of that stuff. It has nothing to do with it. And so the reason why it was giant crickets was because there was nothing to damage Donald Trump. So instead, you then got yesterday, which felt really strange when you started watching these people that were, again,
who
victims.
You know who the most vocal was yesterday on social media? Matt Walsh. He was pounding this whole thing like, why? If you have all this information, you have all these statements that you want to make, why are you waiting? You have a press conference now. Why are you saying I have a press why are you having a press conference to say I have something to say?
Right. The press conference, this is what I found very strange about it. There are moments where, and again, I'm not trying to be ugly about this, but my BS meter was going off because it felt like whenever you watch, like every now and then I will watch like an episode of like a Joe Rogan podcast or somebody else out there. And what'll happen is you ask somebody a question and they'll say, oh no, I've got all of that. It's in my book. And you're like, what do you mean? Well, no, I can get to the bottom of that, but it's in my book. Like, wait, so you've basically come on to sell your book, but you won't give any details. It's just everything's in the book. It felt like yesterday was like that. How can I possibly gain more traction here, whether financially or otherwise? Because all you had to say was, yeah, hey, I got sexually abused, and here were the 4 people that were doing it.
And that's what Matt Walsh was.
That's what I was waiting on.
And that was the point he was making.
Why not? I've got the flamethrower. Yeah. I've got the attention.
Why don't you actually say it? Don't say, I'm going to say it.
And what it felt like to me was they can throw out whatever they want to. And the truth is an absolute disinfectant for everything. If somebody sexually abused you and you want to name who they are and what occurred, do it. If they decide, hey, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to go at you, you can just be like, okay, good, let's have discovery, let's have at this. It felt like a bunch of people that were there to grandstand, to try and create some talking points, and then to maybe down the road enrich themselves, because why not name names? Like, I'm with Matt Walsh. I felt it was incredibly strange. If you were a victim, here's your opportunity to
say whatever you want
to these people.
Say whatever you want. You
let them have it.
Everybody's attention.
And you're busy saying, well, if the Department of Justice doesn't release the list, we will. We'll do our own. Why didn't you have it before?
Why don't you just do it right now?
Here's my list of 3. Here's my list of 8. I would have flat out told you, here are the people that did this to me.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was the lawyer that, when asked about a specific list, he was like, well, I don't know that we wrote down a list. I don't know that anybody actually kept a list, which was an interesting point to make and an interesting thing to say, because that from the get-go, from the beginning of this, it's, hey, we're gonna share the list. The list is on my desk. Everybody wants to know the list. And then for the lawyer to go, well, there's not necessarily a list. It's just we know people did things. Okay, who? And then they never said anything.
I felt like when I told you 2 months ago that this was not going to go anywhere, and that people that were as powerful as they are will never see any sort of justice because they're that powerful. Did you not believe me? Did you think I was like kidding around? Did you think I was like, I was telling you the truth? Like, this is not Candyland. All right? Like, I am the mayor of Reelsville now. Now that Russia's gone, I'll be the mayor of Reelsville. And I'm telling you, these people will never see justice. And so what do you have? You only have the opportunity to smash them in public. They'll never see a prison cell. They have too much money, too much wealth, too much power. Anna Paulina Luna brought up, she's like, there are some extremely powerful people that were involved in this. They will never see justice. So all you have is public ridicule. In the same way that, like, a guy like, I would point out a guy like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was a $1 billion entity. And then after everything that happened to him, man, he couldn't get on a Wheaties box anymore. Because everyone's like,
yeah,
this guy is a mess.
Yeah, this guy's done some stuff.
And you know what? He's come out the other side, but that's pretty much the only thing you can hope for, is that in polite society, these people that you name are no longer allowed in it. They carry a stigma. In the same way that OJ could only get on golf courses, charity golf courses,
that's right,
and was not allowed in polite society any longer. That's all you can really hope for and try for.
Because they can buy themselves out of anything.
Anything else.
And a good lawyer can get you out of anything. Speaking of OJ.
Yeah, and you know what they'll do? They're going to pin this all on, like, again, I'm just floating a name because the name was a person who was always out there. Somebody's dead. They're going to float this on, like, Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, Stephen Hawking, he was the one who was so abusive.
He's the one.
I was like, oh, ALS, Stephen Hawking? Okay, good. Oh, get the pound of flesh on that one.
But NBC, they could not wait. They thought for sure somebody, because they probably thought the same thing. At some point, somebody's going to spill a name. Let's make sure we get the right name spilled. And so they ask the question that they were waiting on, the question that they couldn't wait to ask. And it didn't exactly go to plan.
I do have to ask, and I know, and it's just something that I think we're compelled to at this moment, with the attention on President Trump, with these questions around a pardon. Did anybody see or hear of the president himself doing anything inappropriate as it related to Jeffrey Epstein? No.
No.
That's it. That was their shining moment. That was the one that they were waiting on, because they just knew they had to believe that somebody was going to say something, and they were going to have it on their airwaves, and they were going to run with it for days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks. Yeah. No, you didn't hate to ask. You couldn't wait to ask.
Meanwhile, you still have the same attorney bringing up the one person that gave them more access than anyone.
That's right.
Was Donald Trump when it came to going after Epstein.
Matter of fact, here's that discussion.
The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
That was in 2009?
That was in 2009.
Crazy thing is, that's been stated over and over. We know that. They know that. Everybody knows that. There's no question about it. There never was a question about it. But it would, entities like NBC, they're like, how do we keep this in front of people? How do we keep people wondering, even though it's been said and stated again and again and again?
This was the Hail Mary. They've been hoping for this for months. Then they get these people out, and the best they can do is, Epstein was a friend of Donald Trump. And that was it? Like, that was your home run?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, you mean the guy who was managing billions of dollars in New York happened to know another billionaire? Who then he eventually ran out of his club for pilfering his own employees?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that sounds really creative. This goes back to the desperation on the left. And soak it in. Like, this is a lot of fun. They actually had to go back to, well, maybe we can do the Epstein thing.
Again.
Because you know what they didn't have over the weekend? Death.
Yeah. That they had hoped for.
So Donald Trump didn't die over the weekend, so now they're like, all right.
Next best thing.
Blow off the Epstein stuff. Let's see if we can get this thing going again.
Just fire up the engines. And then,
like, what exactly are you going to do? Like, because every single thing they've tried. Then there was the like somebody ran out of a back room, a planning area where everything is poll tested and people tested, and somebody was like, I got it right here. All right, what are we going to do? We're going to say that the president is misusing his power by bombing narco terrorists.
What do you think? And then there's the great tweet that we shared yesterday. Hey, wake up. They actually got libs to defend the narco terrorists. And they did. And that's what they help. But isn't that what they always do?
And 2 weeks before then it was, hold on a second. Hey, I've got it. Trump is running the military into cities to make them safer.
What do you think?
What do y'all think? Like an occupational force.
Yes. Now, mind you, all the stats have gone down. Like, everything he said was going to happen when he did this has actually happened. But how do we frame it differently? How do we put it differently? Let's scare people into thinking he's going to other cities. Okay, let's talk about that, because he did bring it up. He brought it up and said he's going to go to Chicago. He said he was going to go to Baltimore. Now he says maybe he's going to go to Louisiana. We got a Republican governor down there. Maybe there's something that we can work there. That will be the way we'll lay this out. We'll frame it that he's going. This is Nazism. That's what the Nazis did. They invaded cities with their troops and tanks and things.
All right, you ready for Mystery Science Theater? I'm going to do this. You ready?
Yes.
I've got it. What do you have, Dave? What we're going to say is that Donald Trump will not allow an election in 2028.
That's good. That's good.
And then somebody goes, Psst, Dave, we didn't even have a primary in 2024.
That's right.
We actually haven't had a legitimate one since 2008.
I know we're not talking about this now, so we're not going to change topics on you necessarily, but Jerry Nadler, that's happening again in the Democrat Party, by the way, with Jerry Nadler. You saw where he said he was going to retire? Read his statement. He is not ready to retire. He's being forced out again. So the Democrats continuing to do that. And that's the only reason I bring it up here, is because they're continuing to do that. They don't. If nobody chooses to run, you are told whether you're running or not.
If there was ever a moment where you said democracy is dead, it's their party.
Yeah, it is.
It hasn't been alive in more than, 17 years? You've almost gone 20 years since you had legitimate democracy within your party.
But they're the great defenders of democracy.
And all you do is pick winners, or at least you pick who you choose are going to be the winners.
You pick the person who's going to run and then ultimately lose.
I mean, at this point, when you talk about people that are excited within the Democrat Party, I have somebody in Mamdani who's been selected. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to cultivate this person. It's like somebody who came up from out of nowhere. It's like, no, he was selected. An AOC who's an actress playing a part. All right, I have a Jasmine Crockett who's going to lose her seat, by the way, who basically every day tries to give me an interpretation of what she thinks black women are like.
She's like cosplaying or something.
Yeah, she's cosplaying an angry black woman.
I mean, wrap your head around that for a little bit.
And this is what your opponents are doing, and this is what they're coming up with. And so why do you think they're so desperate for just one of y'all say something about Donald Trump in reference to Epstein?
Anything.
One of y'all, please. Like anybody, say something.
Say you saw something. But they can't and they won't. But you could take it further, but it's just like I was talking about on CNN when they were talking about how Donald Trump is destroying the credibility of the CDC. You're like, no, he's not. I mean, the CDC destroyed its own credibility.
What credibility?
Yeah. They destroyed their own. And then I saw yesterday where Elizabeth Warren just trying to find anything, try to get some traction. He's fired 50% of the Department of Education.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Great. Tell me again what's bad about that?
Which part did I not vote for?
Exactly. It's so encouraging. And yet, I can't tell if they really care about these entities. My gut tells me no. It's more about how do we try to make something political out of something that has no legs.
One of the big differences in Donald Trump 1 versus Donald Trump 2. Donald Trump 1, and I think this is completely legitimate, I believe it was chaotic. I believe that there was so much craziness in terms of who he had hired, quickly finding out they weren't on his side, having to move to somebody else, whether it was an attorney general or anybody within his cabinet was like, oh my God, I can't believe I picked that person off the list. I'm moving on to somebody else. Here's my national security advisor. I got to go to somebody else. It was chaotic in that terms, albeit with then the crap that was the Russian collusion behind all of it. This time around, it is so smooth sailing that all that the left really has is trying to create fake chaos. You know what? Pete Hegseth is on his way out. Patel's on his way out.
Oh, I know.
And then the statements are like, yeah, no, we're good. We're totally good here. Everything's good here. So now you really only have, and this is, how far they'll go and how far they'll push it. The only thing the left has is activist judges to throw a 24 to 48 hour roadblock on stuff. That's about it. That's the extent of their power.
And then it gets up to the Supreme Court. They overturn, or even Ninth Circuit.
Yeah,
the Ninth
it goes
Circuit.
Away.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's it. That's all. That's all they have. So no wonder Aunt Peg and Chip are so upset on a regular basis. It's like, dude, go win at the ballot box. If you want to change something, win at the ballot box. Now, I've also pointed out when Donald Trump has used executive authority and I go, okay, that's not going to work. And then eventually it doesn't work. Okay, like that happened with the Aliens Act. But outside of that, how many times have I sat back and gone like, hey, this is a bad idea? I'm like, no, it's all been pretty generally good ideas that have actually worked.
Dude, I tell you, you talk about fanning the flames of fake. They need something that they can get some attention. Now they're talking about creating fake enthusiasm with a new national convention, a midterm national convention, because they have no momentum whatsoever. The Democrats are talking about, and Trump is like, well, if y'all do it, we'll do it too. No worries. We'll match it. We'll see you and raise you.
These are the same people that actually, when Kamala Harris was just getting rolling, they were rolling out fake AI photos that we quickly were able to discern and go like, that's not real. To fake enthusiasm, to show like, oh, look at the crowd she's pulling. She wasn't. No. Unless she paid them. She spent $2 billion on crowds to give you the impression she was more popular than she was. She got her ass kicked.
And there's nothing left. Her career's over.
In a country where we apparently can't count the vote in one night, by 10:30 we're like, okay, we're good.
Things are not looking well for her. When we come back on Extra 106.3, white liberal women screaming at the VP and his wife as they visited that Minnesota church. Wait till you hear what they screamed at them. That's what'll make your blood boil. Next on Extra 106.3.
Start your day with Tug and Los on the Morning Extra from 6 to 10. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck at noon, and the Kimmer Show on your ride home from 3 to 6. And hang out every night for Jesse Kelly at 6 and Jimmy Fela at 9. And stream it all live in crystal clear HD on the Extra 106.3 app.
Time now for the Retire Wise Report. James Parker here with financial advisor Sean Maloney, founder and CEO of Retire Wise. The big question for many of our listeners as they approach retirement is, will I be okay in retirement? Sean, how do you help someone figure out if they've saved enough to be comfortable?
Great question. There is a lot of different aspects of this, but the biggest thing is looking at risk. Look, there's a lot of different risks to your money, like market risk, there's healthcare costs, inflation, and taxes. All those need to be accounted for. Many people worry if they've saved enough. Am I going to outlive my money? Strategies to help preserve your wealth can be more important than the dollar amount that you saved. Get an analysis of your situation to help you get that clarity that you need.
Tell us about the offer you have for listeners.
If you're worried about if you'll be okay for retirement, you probably don't have a plan. You might not even know what I mean when I'm talking about, do you have a retirement plan? Well, we have a great resource for you guys. We have what's called the Retire Happy Framework Toolkit, and you can get that by calling or texting WISE to 770-802-2200. My team helped me put this thing together just for you, and it's a complimentary guide. And the center of this is a copy of my latest book, The Priority of Retirement. It has chapters from everything from investments to Social Security, income planning, and has other guides that go along with it as well, with some checklists in regards to all those different strategies and topics as well. So if you want to get that information in your hands today, call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. That's 770-802-2200.
Take advantage of this offer. Get your Retire Happy Framework today. Like Sean said, just text WISE to 770-802-2200. The team at Retire Wise will get you your Retire Happy Framework right away. So just call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Hey, Atlanta's Mark from the Safe House. I have a question for you. Am I the only person pissed off with the mainstream fake news, liberal judges,
and whiny liberal politicians
who don't realize why Donald Trump is president, and fake safes? And you may wonder, why fake safes? Well, a fake safe is like Joe Biden, cheap and ineffective. A real safe from Atlanta Safe House is like Donald Trump, tough, effective, and provides peace of mind when you need it the most. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast and see what a real safe looks like. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
You protect your physical health by choosing your doctors carefully. Protect your financial health by choosing an attorney carefully. An accident can be very costly. You want to receive the compensation you deserve. Call Van Sant Law. My friend David Van Sant will take care of you, trust me, very well. The number is 855-GA-INJURY. The website is vansantlaw.com. In the event of an accident, it could be the most important phone call you make.
Hey, it's a Kimmer talking about Stovall.
Yeah, I just wanted to brag on Stovall. I went up there and actually got a quote on some of their material up there, and he gave me the quotes I wanted, but he said what would work best, they don't carry, and referred me to one of their competitors. That's how good they are. And sure enough, he was right. The material he was talking about that they don't carry, it's actually going to work best for me. So I've got that on the way. It all worked out well. It makes me want to go back and buy something from them now.
Folks, when it comes to landscaping supplies, start at Stovall. 11 locations around Atlanta. Online at StovallInc.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Thursday, September 4th. A Georgia state representative has filed a Title IX lawsuit against a high school in Marietta. Georgia Representative John Carson filed the complaint with the U.S. Department of Education against Pope High School because he says boys are allowed to be on the roster of more than one sports team at one time, while girls are not. Carson specifically named the girls' varsity basketball team in the complaint. Equifax is planning a major expansion at its Windward Concourse campus in Alpharetta. The company is investing $25 million to expand its data center space. The new investment is said to bring over 200 new jobs to the area. Once the expansion is complete, the campus will be Equifax's largest office space. And today marks 1 year since the tragic shooting at Appalachia High School that left 4 dead and 9 wounded. The school is open today for a day of service for students instead of the normal class schedule. There'll be a vigil this evening around the school's flagpole to honor the victims of the shooting. Today's weather mostly sunny with some warmer temperatures in the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10, 7 o'clock hours brought to you by Van Sant Law Group. If you're in an accident, make the right call. VanSantLaw.com. I want you to hear from these insane liberal white ladies
Oh, they're my favorite.
Yeah, I know. I know they are.
Did they bring their cats with them?
I didn't see in this piece of video that I saw, I didn't see any cats, but they all have cats.
Vagina hats or no?
Not in this instance. I didn't say they were waving the trans flag.
Was there a particular age group? Because the boomers are different than the younger ones. The younger ones have a certain level of crazy. The boomers are like certain they're crazy.
These are late, probably a little older than us, but not to boomers, but there were some boomers out there. Don't get me wrong. There were boomers out there.
Because they're real big into telling you what's what.
Oh, I know. Dude. The boomers, the boomers are like nobody I've ever dealt with in my life. It lib boomers anyway. I mean, everybody else is just fine. It's just I don't know what it is about liberalism that is a mental disorder, but it certainly is. So these ladies screeching and screaming at J.D. Vance and his wife Usha as they visited the folks at the Annunciation Church in Minnesota. And they're screaming, "Protect our children," while simultaneously forgetting that the trans person who shot and killed those children are the people they're protesting in favor of.
Protect our kids! Do this for our children! Protect our kids! Better! Do better!
And I would say to them, do better?
Protect
you're
our
right.
kids.
You're right. Do better. Let's do better. Let's protect the children in that church, because that church and those schools asked for more protection years before. After the thing that happened, because I was in Nashville driving home when the Nashville shooter attacked a Christian school. Attacks on Christian properties and churches and schools are up about 700%. And these people are screaming, "Protect our children," while doing nothing. Tim Walz, as the governor, did nothing. There was $18 million allotted for protection of those children, and Tim Walz sat on his hands. This is directly a thing that he chose not to do, and now there's dead children because of it.
I wish I knew more about how this works in terms of, like, we have our school resource officers that are on site at every one of our schools within our county. But if you happen to be in a county that doesn't have that as a resource, how do you get it? Do you have to go through the state? Is it strictly through your own local school board? Because I would imagine you would have a large amount of parents that if you told them there's going to be armed guard sitting in a car outside of your school every single day who directs traffic in and out, and then what their job is to do is to be there at the school. I can't imagine that you would have a majority of parents that would object to that. Now, are you telling me that's, armed officer walking the halls? Again, I would have a problem with it.
I have no issue with that.
But in our case, when it comes to our schools, when you walk in the door, there's an office, and that's where that officer is.
There was a bill there in the state of Minnesota that was passed, $50 million altogether allotted, and the schools that asked for the protection were independent or private schools, charter schools, and they weren't covered under the original law that was passed and the money that was allotted, and they asked to be. Tim Walz sat on his hands and did nothing. Now you have you have what happened. You have these people screaming out front. And that's the thing that's so bothersome to me, is that this is clearly an issue that they can't get by. This is an issue that they deal with. When I say an issue, I mean a mental illness. They are not addressing the root cause of the mental illness. Those people that are screaming out front, they have no concept of the person that went in and shot up that school had a severe mental illness. And
well, the media hasn't told them that.
Well, I guess they've not gotten their program, they've not got their download. You and I know that. We've talked about it on the show.
We read the entire manuscript.
None of these clowns did. And that's the thing that's so bothersome. They're never going to change their opinion. And the crazy part is, even if they had watched all the videos that you and I did, read all the manifesto like you and I did, they wouldn't change their mind anyway. They're still going to be out front saying, "Protect our children." Yes, from the people you're protesting in favor of.
I hate to be the jerk in these scenarios. I kind of get a little kick out of it, but I don't like it all the time. I will find myself into one of these discussions, and it will invariably end this way. I'll be talking with somebody who typically is politically different from me. They'll be giving me the same talking points, and I'll ask the question, did you read that person's manifesto? And it always goes the same way. Well, no. And then I start bringing it up. Right. And then I start talking about the aspects of it. Now, this happens in no matter what shooter, no matter what person. There's always something that where they didn't watch it on Morning Joe. They didn't see it in the New York Times. It was never given to them. And when you start spelling this stuff out, invariably, you're the jerk because you paid more attention, which also indicates that you care more. And that's the part that gets them very upset. Because their caring only goes as far as whatever their download is.
Yeah, what do they always say? Don't judge me on the results.
Yes, my intentions are all that really matters. So yeah, you can have these people sitting outside of school and telling you, like, you got to do better, we got to protect our kids. Well, why doesn't it start with making sure they have the security that they're asking for? I mean, that's a basic tenet, right?
Militarized schools.
I don't mind.
Every time I walk into a bank, there's an officer there.
Is my airport militarized?
Yes.
Is my bank? You know, I mean, how many places do you go to where there is a presence that's armed? And I don't have it at my school for my kids?
The most vulnerable.
And the most valuable thing to me.
The least protected. I read this article yesterday from Wired magazine, and it talked about how misinformation spread like wildfire about the Minnesota shooter, and they specifically pointed out Twitter or X. They went and they detailed all the things that we had discussed. And I went into this article, I was like, okay, what is it that they're trying to say? What are they just pointing out that the misinformation on Twitter, not just social media? And it was indeed. They were just pointing out that Twitter is too free. That's essentially what their message was. So I went into it thinking, okay, what did I have wrong? What are they going to tell me? So I read and read and read, and I was looking for the misinformation. And I continued to read this Wired magazine article. And the thing that they led with that was misinformation that you should know about, because you're being misled when you get on Twitter too, is that they called the shooter by the wrong pronouns. That was the rampant misinformation.
Well, it was a man who wanted to be back to being a man.
Right, we know that. They apparently don't. Listen to this paragraph. This is just one that I pulled. It said, one of the primary narratives erroneously pushed immediately after the shooting, conservative influencers and politicians claimed that the perpetrator's gender identity was at fault. Information about the shooter, who identified as a transgender and changed her name to Robin Westman when she was 17, spread like wildfire, pushed by a huge list of right-wing figures, including Georgia's Marjorie Taylor Greene and podcaster Benny Johnson, Elon Musk himself, too. Okay, well, wait a minute. Where's the misinformation? Give me some. You went into the paragraph saying the misinformation spread like wildfire, and you told me that you were setting me up to tell me what the misinformation was, and there was nothing.
You're about to give me some truth, right? You're going to drop a truth bomb on me?
There was no truth anywhere in the entire article.
Let me give you some truth. I'm sick of my hair. I want to chop it off. I only keep it because it's pretty much my last shared ? Of being trans. I'm tired of being trans. I wish I never brainwashed myself. I can't cut my hair as of now, as it would be embarrassing and defeat. And it might be a concerning change of character that could get me reported. That's directly from the manifesto of the shooter, who was tired of being trans, who actually said they're so crazy that they consider themselves a woman and then decided they were tired of considering themselves a woman.
You know where else that didn't show up? This Wired article. And then let me give you the one when I just finally stopped reading. You won't believe, Los, who they quoted as their social media disinformation expert.
Okay.
You'll remember this name, I have a feeling. Nina Jankowicz.
Oh, well.
That was who they used in this article to talk about the misinformation that is being shared on X, on Twitter specifically. They were going after that platform specifically. And they used Nina Jankowicz as their misinformation expert. And of course, this article is nothing more than to promote censorship. And anything that you say that they don't like, they don't want posted. They don't want you to have the ability. Very much like we're seeing over in the UK right now.
When I pointed out that you have these trans people, when we talked about the numbers from 2015 to 2025, because what the left tries to do is they try and turn it into, well, trans shooters, they're such a small minority of the total amount. Yeah, but when it comes to our mental health issues we have in this country, trans is one of the leading indicators of what is going on. It's one of the leaders of when it comes to SSRIs, when it comes to the medication they're being given. These are people that are exhibiting outwardly mental illness. That's why when you look at the numbers, trans women, who are men, right now are the leading cause of these mass shootings, 4 people or more in the last 10 years, with women who are pretending to be men right behind them. Those are what the numbers say. So when you hand out these truth bombs to people, their only response is, well, stop being mean.
Right.
Where are you going? You know kids are dead, right? Like, yeah, and I'm telling you the ones that are responsible for this. You can go through the list from Uvalde to Nashville to Minneapolis, and it's always the same thing. Trans going after kids. And typically, they're trying to do as much damage to them, especially when they're religious as possible.
Absolutely.
Because they hate themselves, they hate religion.
That's the thing that conveniently gets left out. And
you can't say that.
They go through
kids
that.
are dead.
They go through it in this article, too. They're like, they call that misinformation, that this is a...
No, it's malinformation because it's true. They just don't want you to hear it.
That's what it should be labeled. Motivated by the hatred of God, citing all the anti-Christian and anti-God writings on the shooter's gun, but that's not true. That's misinformation. That's when they bring in Nina Jankowicz, the former misinformation lady that Biden hired to keep you silenced. But it does open up the same conversation in the Grand Lynham arrest. This is where we would have been. All of this stuff would be in play in America had Kamala Harris been elected. Because that's exactly what they wanted to do. Well, if you don't know about Graham.
I lived through COVID. Like, I saw all the craziness that if you happened to write anything, if you posted anything, you actually had the federal government that was reaching out to the social media companies and telling them what they could not have and what they could have on their sites. Like, for a time, if ever you discussed ivermectin, you had to write it as IVM. Because you had to avoid any of the screens.
Yeah, you had to code it.
You had to avoid anyone being able to check in on you. There's a reason why people have gotten used to when they write certain words by throwing in a couple of different letters in there so it doesn't show up when people do searches.
And this is because it relates to the Minnesota shooting. Instead of the word shooter, they'll put SH00 instead of 00.
So it does not show up in all the search filters.
Yeah, right. And at some point, they'll figure that out and probably
it'll all get
they'll stamp that
cleared out. But that's the amount of when you had an arbiter. You actually had, at one point, this federal government under Joe Biden that tried to create a Ministry of Information.
Yeah, Disinformation Board. And
what
Nina Jankowicz was going to be
she was going to be the head
Mary
of it.
Poppins. Remember her Mary Poppins video?
And the wild part for me, you actually had enough blowback where they went, okay, that's too far. When almost nothing else they were doing was considered too far. That they had such backlash that they actually were like, okay, we should scrap that one.
I can't imagine why we didn't have such backlash against so many other things during the Biden administration. But we're programmed to live and let live. We're just gonna do the best we can. You don't have to live and die by politics. But it took that blowing up for them to be like, all right, we'll put on the brakes now. But believe me, we're not letting this go. And Wired Magazine's not letting it go. They wish they were able to censor. They hope for censorship. They do not want you talking about things in the open. That's why they hate Twitter so badly. That's why they hate X so badly, because you have unfiltered conversations about anything you want. And freedom is that's like the kryptonite to the Democrat Party. They despise it. When we continue on Extra 106.3, CNN wants to give the Fed governor mortgage fraud, who is, looking like she's guilty of mortgage fraud. They want to give her a pass. I'm guessing that you're probably not one of those that would like to do that. Next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, September 4th. The Atlanta Braves, well, their 2-game losing streak is now over as the Bats woke up in Chicago after being no-hit for 6 innings. The Braves ended up beating the Cubs 5-1 the final. New Braves shortstop Ha-Sung Kim with a 3-run homer in the 7th inning to break things open. The team is now off today before returning home for a weekend series with the Seattle Mariners beginning tomorrow night. The NFL, it returns tonight as the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will host the Dallas Cowboys to kick off the season from Philadelphia for Thursday Night Football. The Eagles are an 8.5-point favorite tonight. Kickoff is set for 8:20. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
I'm glad that you're sitting down for this because this is a conversation that may come as a surprise. It's something that you need to do, and I'm asking you to spend a little money. But the return on investment is going to be great. Look, I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but I can tell you when we made the changes at our home, when we put in new windows, when we put in new doors, we saw the value of our home go up and exponentially. You can get that same return. It's your biggest investment. It's the thing that will probably help you retire one day. The value in your home. If you bought one in the last 10 or 15 years, I bet the value of that's doubled. So now make the added investment to make that go up even more, to make that money grow even bigger. How do you do it? New windows, new doors, new siding. You could paint the house, new roof, or at least at a minimum, repair the places that need to be repaired. So when it rains, you don't get those little brown spots on the ceiling in the house. It's an investment, really. It's an investment to make sure that you are able to retire one day and are able to live the life that you hoped when you get ready to be done working. New windows, new door. You didn't think those things would go together, but they really do. The investment is so important. So get new windows, get new doors, energy-efficient windows and doors, roofing, siding, gutters, or put a big old deck on the back of the house, screen it in with Southern Exteriors. It's so simple. They'll give you 10% off of whatever job you choose, no matter how big, or you can get 12 months, 0% financing at Southern Exteriors, 8779 southernexteriors.co.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Atlanta without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Atlanta for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FLIP to 64,000. Atlanta is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Atlanta and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FLIP to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FLIP to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FLIP to 64,000.
Oh no, what is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own, but I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
Hey, it's Los. We're here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, I'm looking for a reliable vehicle, something for the family, but also for my daughter who's going to be driving soon. Why should I call you?
The main thing is
You get to see it's a full transparency sale. What I like to do is show you the whole gamut, show you everything that's out there and everything that's available. I can get any make, any year, any model.
Financing. If I need to use it, what can you offer?
We have some of the best banks available, and we got rates starting at 4.99 from a 23 model and above. It could be a 14 model. We still have banks that will do all the financing for you at good rates in their primary banks. If you have credit issues, we still have banks that can accommodate those issues as well.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
I do not want to hear that I'm plus size. No, you're fat. I'm curvy. No, you're obese.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. I'm guessing, Los, that most people, they don't want to just give a pass to somebody who is holding them hostage with mortgage rates, credit card rates. They don't want to give a pass to a person that is able to skip the line ahead of them, do something that is illegal and get away with it while they're sitting back trying to do things the right way and getting no relief.
I think about what happened under the previous administration and how, well, let's say if you happen to walk into the Capitol where police told you to come on in, well, then we got to throw the book at you. Like, how many years can we stick you in prison? Like, I still remember the one, it's the one person who was covering January 6th for the Blaze. And you had Glenn Beck who had him in a number of times. The man was walking the halls with all of his microphone, everything else, just covering it. And he caught a case to the point where he actually had to report to the FBI, and they had to shackle him to march him in and out of court. And he's like, why is this necessary?
Yeah.
And the reason why he was targeted was because he was a journalist with the Blaze. Whereas if you were with, let's say, Mother Jones,
NBC,
CNN, you didn't catch a case. That's how it was. So it was discriminate. Okay, like that's how it was. Now that the shoe is on the other foot, and now that we're getting to expose real crime, real misdeeds, real ways in which the swamp is active, and here's how they screw over the American people. Even when we have them dead to rights, there's someone like CNN who will make up an excuse as to why that's not happening.
CNN's Tom Foreman unpacks the accusations against Cook that brought us to this point.
At issue in 2021, Cook purchased a home in Michigan, then another home in Georgia, declaring both to be her primary residence based on a CNN review of mortgage documents, potentially double dipping on financial incentives for home buyers. But analysts note she has denied wrongdoing. She was never charged. That might not be a valid cause to fire her anyway, and she may have an explanation.
She could just say she made a mistake.
However, Trump has been fuming at the Fed for months.
So let me get this straight. I just made a mistake.
That's all. Now, if you did it,
let's say if you just happened to wander into the Capitol as a journalist and you were covering January 6th, we just made a mistake. If you happen to have, I don't know, your employer say, have you had this shot? And you say, yes, but you didn't. Well, you just happen to make a mistake. If you happen to, I don't know, not pay your taxes, well, I just made a mistake.
Nothing to see here. No big deal.
Yet, this is now the standard by which CNN, MSNBC, the rest of them, are trying to cover for their own problems. They're trying to say that somebody like Lisa Cook, who, it wasn't just one home, it wasn't just two, looks like it's three. They were all taken out as primary mortgages. Well, she just made a mistake. First off, the person who even alleges that, have they never purchased a home?
Yeah, I bet all of them have. They seem to make pretty good.
Have you never had, like, the first question is, what is the address? The second is this your primary residence?
That's right. That's the way it's organized.
I've done it quite a few times. I've sold secondary and investment properties. It's always one of the first questions. Is this a primary residence? No. Okay. Here's what the table is now.
And then there's a lawyer sitting there to verify all of this is true, to make sure that everything you're saying is done correctly and the paperwork is filled out correctly. So nothing is wrong and everything can move forward legally. But yet, if you're a Fed governor, you have to follow those silly rules, those arbitrary rules. You got to worry about that. Because who's going to come after you? Nobody's going to come after you. You're in a position of authority. Who's going to come after her? Uh-oh. All of a sudden, shoe on the other foot. Man, it sucks to be in charge of something and then screw up.
So you do have, and when it comes to your mortgage rates, your 30-year fix as of right now, like the best you're going to do is like 6.5%, which really should be a lot less. But when you look at investment property, it goes from 7.7 to 8%. And you wonder why she marked primary.
Absolutely. She's going to say
primary residence.
Now, you can't make that mistake.
No, if you do it, that's called mortgage fraud, which, I mean, if I only had a friend like CNN who would just say, you just
on your side.
It was just a mistake.
All the time, always on your side.
Ignorance is not a defense of the law.
But you know
what?
It's not. The crazy thing is now her lawyer's saying it wasn't just her that made a mistake. It was actually the White House.
It was Joe Biden.
It was Joe Biden that made a mistake.
She was never vetted.
Goodness gracious. This is the quote from her lawyer. Senators or the White House advisors could have inquired about any alleged financial inconsistencies. What? So now you're saying her screw up is actually on the White House? Look, I got no problem blaming Biden for all kinds of things. I don't know that I blame Biden for this one. You know, man, what is it? Joe Biden probably thought the senators that nominated her probably thought, yeah, she's buttoned up. She would have to be buttoned up. Surely she can't have anything financially wrong in her background. That's what she does for a living.
How frustrating must it be that when you make a DEI hire, it turns out they have DEI problems?
No, it seems to add up every
I don't
time.
like calling people DEI hires
unless
until
they are. That's the big.
She is.
That's the thing.
He wanted look. I have the first female black governor sitting on the Fed board. Turns out she's a crook.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that have been put in places that are not DEI hires. I mean, I think everybody agrees with that. I think that's of course. But when they are, it's clear.
They tend to screw up differently.
And try not to cover for them, CNN. Maybe just call it like it is.
Yeah. Just say she committed mortgage fraud.
Or at least be
the minute you sign the paperwork saying that this is your primary and it's not, you've committed mortgage fraud.
Or Los, at least be curious. At least be curious about it. Let's say, hey, because let's say you're on her side. Let's say you want to defend her with all. Wouldn't you then go through all the steps just to prove how she's not what you're saying she is? How to prove that she's not someone that was dealing with mortgage fraud? At least be curious enough to do those, connect those dots.
See, the problem for me is that if Lisa Cook ends up losing her job or catches a case, does it really affect my life on a regular basis for any one of these people? No, of course not. It doesn't matter. If that one weirdo leaves the CDC, who's into Satanism and he's gay and he does his own lifestyle, I'm like, okay, fine, you're all those things and that doesn't have anything to do with me and whatever, that's cool, but I don't care.
That's disgusting to me, by the way.
But Lisa Cook has an actual interest and can affect my life on an every month basis when I write my mortgage check. She's one of the people that has used partisan politics to make sure that interest rates stay artificially high.
But she doesn't have to deal with it.
No.
Because she's able to...
Because she's skated.
Manipulate.
Right.
And do things the wrong way, and no one's ever going to ask the question.
And that is why she's in the crosshairs. This isn't just about, hey, there's some politician who's doing wrong. Listen, there's a lot of them do stuff wrong, and it doesn't affect you at all. It doesn't touch you one bit. This one does. Every single month. Where these people have decided, how can we, as we've talked about when it comes to activist judges, what do? They throw up a roadblock within like 72 hours, a week, whatever, it gets overturned. These people at the Fed, the more you look at it, are going, how do we slow down the Trump economy to hurt Donald Trump? They're that much of activists. She's DEI. She's not supposed to be there. She was never qualified to be there. You go through her history, so much of her academic work, it looks like it's plagiarized. And it was wrong based on what she was writing about. It was covered in Zero Hedge, that her primary paper, in which here's what all of her secondary work is based on, was wrong.
Can I give you the good news? She probably ain't going to be there long. That's the good news.
Is she able to be fired? Because you've seen what happened. They tried to fire Jerome Powell. Powell's still there.
Yeah.
She's still there.
Yeah, we'll see how this thing See how it all ends up. Something tells me.
You imagine if David Dickey was to fire you tomorrow?
I'm not leaving.
And you show up on Friday?
I'm not going anywhere.
You're like, I'm here. You can't make me leave.
That's right.
And he's just sitting back like, who do I got to call? It's like, no, I'm here.
I'm telling you, with the admission of the lawyer now, I think this is going to take care of itself. All right. Maybe I'm just hopeful. Maybe I'm just naive and hopeful, but I think it will. I don't know how you escape from this when the lawyer admits it the way he did. I like James Comer, but don't tell me you have the goods on the Biden auto pen fiasco unless you're going to act on it. Next on Extra 106.3.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Okay, so you go out and buy a ticket for this super big Powerball lottery, and let's say you win. Well, if you buy the ticket in Georgia, you have one thing in your favor. Georgia won't rat you out. You can stay anonymous. Where I live in Florida, that's not the case. You've got 6 months in Florida to get your affairs in order, and then the state tells everybody you're a squintillionaire. I've spent a lot of time on the air talking about people that won the lottery whose lives later became miserable and in some cases ended. There's a psychological study of this. It's called The Curse of the Lottery. So now, to help you out, I present to you from one such psychological study 5 reasons you do not want to win this Powerball lottery. The first reason is you actually like being married. Unless you were drop dead 100% certain about the strength of your marriage, winning a huge lottery is going to screw that up. Unexpenses and riches that are unprepared for cause immense strain on a relationship. Bye-bye hubby, bye-bye wife. Number 2, you don't want to be killed. Yeah, it's true. Quite a few lottery winners have been murdered by people they refuse to give money to or by people thinking they might inherit it. Number 3, you find the idea of bankruptcy unappealing. Yep, you'd be surprised how many people win tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in a lottery and end up going bankrupt. Number 4, you're superstitious. This curse of the lottery thing is real. I'll just let you Google Jack Whitaker, lottery winner. And number 5, hey, your life isn't all that bad the way it is now. Think about it. Do you really want your friends to hate you and the media to constantly be on your tail? Go out there and win a huge lottery and let the public find out. At least on that issue, you have an edge in Georgia. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Hey, Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Still trying to end the war in Ukraine. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump will soon talk again with Volodymyr Zelensky. Some reports say this hour as Ukraine's leaders in France to meet with European allies in a coalition trying to work out security guarantees for Ukraine once the war ends.
What a mess. What a bloody mess. It's going to get done one way or the other.
The president says he'll also talk again in the coming days with Russian leader Vladimir Putin following their summit last month.
Putin claims he's ready to meet with Ukraine's president, saying, quote, if Zelensky is ready for a meeting, let him come to Moscow. Now, Putin also unveiled his peace terms. What Russia gets, Ukraine concedes control of all the Donbas region, frees the front lines in Kherson and Zaporizhia, and the U.S. recognizes Russia's sovereignty over captured land.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. They found a lot more bodies in the earthquake rubble in Afghanistan, bringing the number of deaths from Sunday's quake to just over 2,200. A different disaster in Lisbon, Portugal. A streetcar that's a tourist attraction derailed and went down a steep hill, killing 17 people.
When it came around the corner, She crashed into the building. But I do believe the people at the bottom are very lucky because I have seen videos online of them escaping on the bottom cabin.
What caused the crash still being investigated. There's a move in Florida to become the first state to end all childhood vaccine mandates. Some Democrats call it dangerous. Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo says the requirements are immoral.
You don't want to put whatever vaccines in your body? God bless you. And I hope you make an informed decision.
In a few hours, a vaccine skeptic, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will be questioned at a Senate hearing following the firing of a CDC director.
Last week, Kennedy said while he would not address individual personnel issues.
There's a lot of trouble at CDC, and it's going to require getting rid of some people over the long term in order for us to change the institutional culture.
Democrats have been highly critical of Kennedy and are urging President Trump to replace him.
That's Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. America's listening to Fox.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. No, you better sit this one out. It's no way to live. So if pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help get you back to life on your terms. One where you say yes a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients does not just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, joints, or muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. So call 1-800-4RELIEF and give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day to get your life back. Just go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. And see how you can say yes to more of everything you want.
It took 100 years, but finally there's a conservative voice you can trust. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
I got bad news. And it's something that you do all the time. I guarantee you might not admit to it, but you do it. And it's causing hemorrhoids. Taking your phone to the bathroom with you, having you sit on the pot too long. Now it's been proven scientifically that it's causing hemorrhoids.
Science!
That's right. You can't argue with it. It's science, right? It's settled. Anything that science is settled, you can't argue, you can't push back.
Let's trust the science.
That's right. You always have to trust the science. But it bumps your risk of hemorrhoids up by about 46%, almost 50%. Goodness gracious.
So for sitting there?
Just because you sit there too long. Because you sit on the toilet too long. You're like when you're done,
you're supposed to get going.
Yeah, you're supposed to get up and get going. People still sitting there thumbing through social media.
Maybe I'm just wired differently. I don't want to be there very long.
Yeah, right. Dude, there is a trend where people will pretend to go to the bathroom.
Oh, this is my old man.
Just to get away from everybody and everything and have a minute of solace to themselves. And they answer emails. They
read the newspaper.
All of it, yes.
Yeah,
because it used to be, right? You'd take the newspaper in there because you'll be there a minute. Now people take their phone and then they're like, wow, this is kind of quiet. This is kind of nice.
I always thought it was
and then
weird
they stay.
when people had magazines next to it.
Yeah.
Because that indicated that you wanted to be there long enough to read said magazine.
Right.
Never had an interest in that.
No, yeah. Well, you're one of the few, man. I think more people.
It's like I want to get off the devil's throne as quickly as possible.
I think more people actually like staying in there nowadays because it's the only place where you don't have anybody talking to you. You don't have anybody yelling at you. You don't have anybody needing something. Like I've heard of moms doing this a whole bunch because they have kids all the time. Mom, I need this. Mama, get me that. And mama's just going there and I just need 5 minutes.
Have a bath.
Yeah, which is another good one. Yeah, for sure.
Like that's big in my house.
But
somebody needs to calm down, go get a bath.
But that takes time, right? You gotta set everything up. Yeah, right. But if you just need 5 minutes, then you just go in the bathroom. And then the kids are like, Mama, I'll be out in a minute. Mamas have 5 minutes of solitude. Now, I'm sure dudes do it too. Theirs is more like, oh my God, she's going to ask me to go mow the lawn, clip the hedges, trim the hedges, whatever.
I was sick enough yesterday, Tug. I probably watched 4 episodes of the Y-Files.
Okay.
So there was the time where I went, I'm going to take this bath. I'm going to see if I can get all this gunk out of my face.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch the story of the Anunnaki and how they created man in Egypt.
And you sent me that episode.
And then I moved on to the next one, which was, like the Illuminati and their secret symbols.
Yeah. So
that's all I did yesterday.
In case you don't know the Y-Files, because I didn't either. Los introduced me to them. It is basically talking about these conspiracy theories and give you all the reasons you should believe, and then in the very last, 10 minutes?
Debunk it all.
They debunk it all, yes.
If they can debunk it all. If AJ...
They do their best.
And, was it Hagglefish?
Yes, that's right. So that's what he's talking about, the Wi-Files. In case you don't know. In
case you want to go to YouTube and find, I don't know, the most popular channel on YouTube, that would be the Wi-Files.
There you go.
Which is fun. It's a fun show.
There you go.
But that's what I did yesterday. After we were done with the show, I was not feeling well. I didn't go sit on the toilet. Instead, I found myself, nice area with a lot of steam, and I watched a bunch of Wi-Files.
Dude, Flounder from Kimmer's show.
Yes.
Just Texas. He said, my grandpa would sit on the toilet so long that my daddy would have to come in there and refresh his coffee. Dude, that's entirely too long. But if you're a grandpa, if you're a grandpa, you get away with it. If you're a mama, I think you get away with it.
That's that generation.
It is.
My dad, grandparent, they would take the newspaper in there, and that indicates you will be in there for quite a while.
Sports page specifically. I remember the sports page being gone. Be like, where's the sports page?
It's in the bathroom with Grandpa.
Yeah, Papa's in there.
Papa's in there with the sports page.
He'll be out a little bit. But little did he know he was giving himself hemorrhoids.
That's science.
That's problematic.
Now you know.
That is problematic. When James Comer came out, because I like James Comer a whole lot. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's in there for the right reasons. Do I think he gets it right all the time? No, I don't. But I don't want him saying things like this unless he means it. He said Biden's auto pen pardons are in peril. I want you to hear from him. Listen to this.
I think that all the pardons and executive orders, especially the ones during the last 4 or 5 months of the Biden administration, I think they're all in peril.
So then it could be that the pardoning of, for example, Dr. Anthony Fauci is not legitimate.
Exactly. That's correct.
Okay. Because this could lead you into all sorts of other investigations.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that there's a letter from the Merrick Garland Department of Justice to the White House saying, you can't use the auto pen on legal documents, and they continue to do it thousands of times after that, like they were in a mad dash going out the door, what some people would say, burning it down on the way out. I think that's even more evidence that would suggest that the overuse of that auto pen probably wasn't the best legal route for the Biden administration to go.
Right. We all agree with that. We all know that.
Now prove it to me.
Now prove it and do something about it.
Because there's always a lot of talk about this stuff.
That's the thing. And that's why I started by saying I like James Comer, but unless you do something about it, don't put the carrot in front of me.
No, there's always that catnip. And it's there to get you all excited about, they're going to do something about it this time. And they don't do anything about it. That's so much of what Washington is. That's so much about each side trading power back and forth and going like, hey, did you see what we pulled off over there? Yeah, that got our side all excited. Okay, well, what are y'all doing next week?
Yeah, right. How are you going to
get them all distracted? Up? Right. Until you actually go after it, until you make it a point to see if the auto pen can stand up to a court of law and to see how it was used. As much as he can point out, hey, Merrick Garland said that you can't use these for legal documents. All right, well, you just did it, 8,000 times?
Yeah. More than any other president in history?
Let's challenge one of them. Just one. Just only got to challenge is just one. And let's see what happens. Because if one falls, because I understand this from, pay attention to a court case in New York. If you do something one time, but then it gets filed 34 times, it's 34 felonies.
Right.
Right? And that the way it works, one time that it didn't work, that means all of them don't work, right?
That's right. The wheels fall off the bus. And that's the thing that ticks me off about the Republicans. I think that's why most people have bailed on the Republican Party altogether. We've said it many times, and I believe it. People are voting for Donald Trump, not the Republican Party. We know most of those auto pen pardons were bought and paid for. Biden had no idea what was going on. But I do think, Los, had Biden been healthy, had he been of sound mind, he would have done the same thing. I don't doubt that he would have went right along with everything that was done. They're just able to now say, well, the president wasn't aware.
It wouldn't have been 8,000 times. And what I firmly believe...
But whatever the number was, they'd have paid for them.
And that's the difference. How many of these were actually bought and paid for?
I think so many of them.
Because on the way out, it's like they knew Rome was burning. All right, so on the way out, Rome's burning. Here comes the new sheriff. Things are going to get really devastating for them. Let's sign it as much as we can on the way out and get paid for it. And so all you got to do is prove it once, right? I mean, I keep being told this is what they did. This is what the proof is, but nothing happens.
Ever. And that's why it's so frustrating. And this is so juicy, and it makes me want to believe, but I'm nervous because I know justice is never done.
I mean, if Donald Trump said we're actually going to go after this, then I give it like a 50-50 chance.
Sure.
Similar to, hey, we're going to roll into Chicago. All right, 50-50. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out.
Well, that already is looking like it's on shaky ground because he's suggesting Louisiana now.
I mean, I've been given weeks of, hey, we got all the Russian collusion. We're sending it over to Pam Bondi. You know what Pam Bondi's really good at? Doing nothing. Nothing at all. Tell me, where's Pam Bondi's scalp that I go, oh, way to score that one.
Well, you did it.
You did it. You got it done, Pam Bondi. Woo!
And what you're saying, I think is so important because look at what Pete Hegseth is doing. He's getting it done.
Actually getting it done.
Look at what RFK Jr. is. Getting it done. Those people that are getting it done, you see the scalps. I saw a drug boat blown up by the U.S. military, and Pete Hegseth had to give it the go-ahead.
Yes.
RFK going after the CDC, dismantling it. And they're screaming and crying. They're so concerned. And RFK is like, I don't give a rip what you think. Here's what I think needs to happen, and I think most Americans agree because nobody has faith in the CDC that's based here in Atlanta.
Meanwhile, I have Pam Bondi, the inaction figure.
That's right.
Who's just over there like... doo-doo-doo.
I wish I could make cricket sounds. Yeah. Because that's what it would be.
That's what it feels like. So if you're telling me we're getting all of our ducks in a row, we're making sure that these are ironclad, well, what do we have going on? I mean, we had the raid on Bolton's house a couple of weeks ago. Where's the avalanche?
Where's that stand?
Where is all of this going? When is it going to happen? If you're telling me on an almost weekly basis, there's so much illegality that we're finding. All right. What'd you do about the illegality that you told me about 2 months ago? Haven't seen a thing. What about the one you told me about 3 weeks ago? Haven't seen a thing. So spare me if Comer's telling me about what's going to happen with the auto pen.
Which is exactly
I'll buy into it for a second until it does.
It's why I wanted to set him up. Dude, make it happen. Quit telling me about it and actually do it. I like James Comer.
Just put one case out there.
That's right. Just give me something. Give me something.
See if it stands up to legal precedent, because as it stands now, when the president signs one of these pardons, it's ironclad. It's done. It's over with. That's what it is. All right, so what happens if he didn't sign any of them? All right, that's the discussion. Well, he was aware. Okay, well, let's go down that road.
And how do you prove was he or wasn't he?
Right.
Because he's always going to say yes.
Because he wasn't even there when those were being signed. That is one of the great discussion points of this entire issue, that at the time Joe Biden wasn't even in D.C. when these were all being signed. It's tracked. He was in Delaware.
The details matter.
The details do matter. If you're telling me on the way out you signed a bunch of these, fine. You auto-penned them, a bunch of them, fine. But you weren't even there. So who exactly did this? And until Comer can tell me any of that or they do anything about it, then I'm just going to consider this just the same sort of BS they give me on a regular basis.
As you should. And that's my takeaway is this is so juicy, and I want to believe, but we've been here a million times.
I'm staring at Lucy.
Stop. Yeah, right. I'm not going for the vote. I'm not falling for this again.
No.
But that's why it's so important to hold these people accountable. And I mean Republicans. We always talk about holding Democrats accountable. Hold the Republicans accountable. They're the ones that are promising you the world, promising you the moon, and not getting it done. And you can't blame Donald Trump on this or for this, because Trump is doing what he says he's going to do and what he campaigned on.
I get frustrated in part because outside of a handful of people throughout the House and throughout the Senate, I believe most of these people are motivated by money and motivated by re-election. Those are the two. And so if you're telling me that you gave, for instance, Sweet Angel, Anna Paulina Luna, you gave her disclose as many UAP files as we can.
Right.
All right, is it going to get her reelected? No. Is it going to make her any money? No. Is she really into it? Yeah. So that's why she's like, yeah, let's do this.
Got some. And then there's people that want to talk about it.
She's
too.
into that stuff,
for sure.
okay? Like, Tim Burchett is into UAP stuff, all right?
And Subway sandwiches, apparently.
When it comes to Comer, tell me, like, what part of this is going to get him more money or get him reelected? If it isn't, I don't think they follow through with a lot of this stuff. By and large, most of these representatives will not follow through unless it gets them reelected or gets them more money to campaign with.
I do believe there's a lot of reasons that people want to come on the show. They want to talk to you directly.
Yes, we've run into this now over the last 6 months. It's been really cool.
But there's that side of it that's like, how do I keep my name in front of voters? Right? Even if I don't have the most earth-shattering news to share, I really want to keep my name out there. And that's fine. That's fine. We have, because we're able to ask you the questions we want to ask you. And I think it's important to ask questions of people that represent us. But it feels like that a little bit with James Comer, too. And the fact that, how do I go out there? This is grand. This is juicy.
Look what we have this time.
And my name will be talked about on every network, even the ones that hate me.
I was told that there was 21 shell companies that the Bidens were using to launder money. Okay, that's what Comer told me a year and a half ago.
Yep.
Now, was it in part to make sure that if he was actually running, that it would be politically damning to him? Yes. Did you need to use it? No, because he found out his brains are scrambled eggs. But that was what the plan was. Oh, we are getting a special time in here.
Oh, look at there.
Wow, we got a Falcon season kicking off here.
Yes, we do.
This is really cool.
Freddie rolling up in here. Freddie, the Falcon is here.
There we go. Hello. How's it going?
Buddy, I tell you
All
what.
that love.
If you're
get the Buccaneers on Sunday.
That's right. And going to tear them down.
That's
we
right.
are going to light up the Bucks. They are DONE done. Right there's the camera in case you want to say hello to the people on YouTube.
All of our YouTube, everybody. There's Freddie Falcon.
Freddie
there we
just
go.
Giving the big wave.
Running through the building.
In here cheering. Doing the dirty bird. Making Jamal Anderson proud.
The amount of things that happen working at this company where we just go like, oh, look.
Look who's here to visit us.
All right.
It's a good day when Freddie shows up. I don't know that anybody don't love Freddie the Falcon.
I just look over. I was like, "That's Freddie the Falcon," and Freddie the Falcon comes on in. I'm like, "All right, let's do this."
That's right. We go from putting people in jail.
Yeah, talking about Comer to Freddie the Falcon.
I was going to say, do you think the Falcons team has no idea what we talk about on this radio station?
No. You know what? And it shouldn't matter.
It's totally fine.
And it shouldn't matter because
we have a crossover of people that fought. That's the cool part about keeping everything in-house. If you're with our sports station, you're with our sports station. Then you come over to us and you go back to them. That's the goal. And so Freddie just made sure to make all the rounds.
Hey, man, I'm just saying hello. Hey, I don't want anybody locked up. Freddie's like, I don't care who's locked up. I just want people to come down to the stadium.
I was just waiting for the care package.
That's right.
I was like, because the Falcons every now and then will give a care package from year to year. Like the one year we all got jerseys.
It was so cool.
Which was really cool. Got my name on a jersey.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's pretty cool.
My kid stole mine.
Well, his name's on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and I'll take
blooper too.
Yeah, dude.
When we get around to baseball season, that's the other fun one.
Yeah, blooper's always great anytime he shows up. Just because whoever runs bloopers,
social media
is
genius.
So strong.
It's like Wendy's blooper.
That's right. And you know who's popping up there again too? Freaking Steak and Shake. They are dismantling the folks at Cracker Barrel. And I know there's an overlap with ownership and investment groups and all that sort of stuff. But, man, to see Steak and Shake just to go at Cracker, it's kind of funny.
I really thought it was funny during the championship season. So there would always be the blooper video of, if you see this, you already know. And it would be him, flying the flag after the win. Then they had a picture of him on the street naked. Just see this. If you see this, it's you already know. Yeah. I was like, it's already too late.
Yeah, genius.
Naked blooper on the street.
Absolutely genius. I don't know that I loved blooper when they announced it because it's not targeted at me. I don't know that I cared one way or another, really, right? It's just it's a mascot. Whatever, it's fine. I have fallen in love with blooper. I would. There is a great, and I can't afford to get one because they're expensive. But there is a polo that's just tiny bloopers all over it. I think Onward Reserve has it. That's the one you can get down. And the only place you can buy it's at the Battery at the Thread store. But it's so cool. And who would have thought? I never in a million years would have thought I would wanted a polo with a mascot on it. Turns out I do. When we come back on Extra 106.3, 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts, 770-GET-HEAT, CentralHeat.com. The legacy of the BLM movement. Next.
Listen to the Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, Neil Bortz, and all your favorite Extra 106.3 personalities whenever you want with the all-new Extra app. It's anytime show replays, all your favorite podcasts, and the latest political news from across Georgia. Download the Extra 106.3 app now for Apple or Android.
Hey, it's Los. Let's talk about True Prep, but I ask you the question to start with. Are you ready? Are you ready for anything? All right, that is the reason why I believe in being prepared, because you just never know. All right, I've been through a couple of crazy storms. I think the first 2 weeks I lived in my new house, we had a little bit of an earthquake. Okay, that was weird, that was strange, but it didn't cause any big problems. But that is why I believe in prepping. That is why I go to True Prep. That is why I believe in having food on hand. I'm the one who keeps that stuff in the basement. 25-year storage. You never know what goes on. Let's say if we lose power for several days, not a problem. My family's going to be fed. We're going to be good to go. We go through the stuff that we've got in our kitchen. We still got plenty of stuff that we can get through. That's part of what True Prep is able to do for you. Also, if you want to make sure that your home is defended or you're defended when you're out on them streets, they have plenty of weapons for you to choose from as far as firearms and the best prices on ammo in the marketplace. Also, go to TruePrep.com. You can always see their used guns and gear section and their sales and clearance items. They update this every single day, so you can always check in. And by the way, you'll also see their workshop area. That is where, if you want an introduction to prepping, if you want a firearm training, they've just been doing that all summer. If you want to know about water filtration, they have workshops on all of these. This allows you to just get that little bit of extra knowledge so that you can be prepared if something wild does happen, and something always does happen. Go to TruePrep.com. That's TRUPrep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow with True Prep.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. At RBM of Atlanta, we embody this definition. Convenience is our middle name. With back to school in full swing and after school activities taking over all your available time, now more than ever, convenience is a must-have. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for those services. Once the services have been complete, we'll bring your Mercedes-Benz back to you. With over 110 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2025 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor at RBM of Atlanta for details.
I'm Michelle Stovall, and our company has been family-owned and operated for 75 years. Check us out at StovallINC.com, or better yet, stop by our newly opened 11th store at 9500 Union Hill Road in Canton. At Stovall, we supply you with all your landscaping project needs, completely hassle-free down to delivery. Been dreaming of an outdoor kitchen, fireplace, or other custom paver project? We partner with Keystone Hardscapes for all your beautiful high-end concrete needs. We look forward to making your landscape dreams come true. Stovall has it all.
Veterans across Braves country are returning to our communities and need a trusted resource to navigate life beyond military service. The Warrior Alliance is expanding our impact and needs your support to change thousands of lives for the better. This is Kelly Kroll, and I'm inviting you to join us for an exciting benefit dinner, followed by an Atlanta Braves private event on Friday, September 12th to support veterans and their families. Special guests include powerful veteran testimonies and five-time All-Star Andrew Jones. Tickets are on sale now at thewarrioralliance.org.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Thursday, September 4th. A Georgia state representative has filed a Title IX lawsuit against a high school in Marietta. Georgia Representative John Carson filed the complaint with the U.S. Department of Education against Pope High School because he says boys are allowed to be on the roster of more than one sports team at one time, while girls are not. Carson specifically named the girls' varsity basketball team in the complaint. Equifax is planning a major expansion at its Windward Concourse campus in Alpharetta. The company is investing $25 million to expand its data center space. The new investment is said to bring over 200 new jobs to the area. Once the expansion is complete, the campus will be Equifax's largest office space. And today marks 1 year since the tragic shooting at Appalachia High School that left 4 dead and 9 wounded. The school is open today for a day of service for students instead of the normal class schedule. There'll be a vigil this evening around the school's flagpole to honor the victims of the shooting. Today's weather mostly sunny with some warmer temperatures in the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
If you go to Athens a lot, give me shoot me a note on social media at Tug Cowards where you can find me of things I need to do with my cousin, places I need to take my cousin for his first ever trip to Athens. He's been a lifelong Georgia fan, grew up in Ringgold, Georgia, just north of me and Dalton. And he's been to see Georgia so many times play elsewhere, but never been to Athens. So this weekend, I want to make sure that he has a good time. I want to make sure that that we hit all the hot spots, maybe hit all the places that that he'll need to see and should see as a Georgia fan. So just a small ask that I have of you, especially if you go to Athens a lot. And I go, I don't know, maybe once, twice a year. I can't say that I'm an expert on the layout of Athens, but I know a few places to take him. So if there's anything that you can add to the list, I'd certainly appreciate it. At Tug Cowards, where you can find me, 404-741-1230.
You got it, Tug.
Yeah, I think it's... I just want to make sure he has a good time, man. You know? I'm going to make sure that for his first trip to this place... Dude, I'm telling you, he's like a kid at Christmas. He's texting me already this morning.
All right, if I might make a suggestion.
Yes.
So with a, 3:30 kickoff?
Yes.
All right. I would highly suggest a tailgate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do the tailgate scene, go to the game, but make it a point to not leave afterwards.
No, yeah, we're not going to. Mm-mm.
Good.
Yeah.
Then go downtown, find a place to eat and have some drinks and watch some more football.
But that's I actually had this discussion with my wife and son last night on the phone.
These are important things.
I said, is it weird for a guy that's my age to hit the bars in Athens after the game?
It's only different. Game weekends are different. Because I'm with you.
Who's the creepy guy over there?
I've had friends of mine that when last time we were in Tuscaloosa, and I had a couple of the guys like, well, what bar should we go to? And I was like, I'll tell you where they're at. I was like, but I didn't go to the bars.
Yeah, you were doing your master's.
30 years old with a kid on the way and been married for 6 years.
Yeah, right.
You know, it wasn't a priority to be like, I can't wait to get down to the bars, but I knew where they were. Now, game weekends are different.
Yeah.
Game weekends, you have all the adults that are staying in town, and you quickly recognize where the adult bars are or where the adults are hanging out and the kids. And quite honestly, that's actually fun. The amount of times where you might actually buy a group of kids $10 worth of beers.
Yeah. I'm totally down with
thanks for
that.
taking.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me buy y'all some beers.
For
and
sure.
Again, you just spent $10. They think you're the most amazing person ever. And you're
Let's
just
go,
like,
old dude.
Yes, exactly. That's part of the fun. I think that would be a good opportunity to get kind of that Athens experience.
For sure. 404-741-1230. David, you've got a suggestion for me quickly.
Yeah, if you get up there Friday night, you got to go to O'Malley's.
O'Malley's, okay. Let me write that down because I've never been. I've never been to O'Malley's, so David says O'Malley's. Like I said, you can get me on social media at Tug Coward to continue this conversation because there's bigger topics to talk about, and there's things that need to be discussed.
I might have grabbed some breakfast there in the past
at O'Malley's. Yeah. Okay, all right. See, I'm not familiar with it at all. To be honest,
although we do have O'Malley's is no longer in operation.
Oh well, David, that really does put a kink in the plans. that crimps off the idea, but I appreciate the suggestion nonetheless.
The building that once housed O'Malley's is now the UGA School of Social Work building.
Well, then there you go.
Well, some things have gone wrong.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was the old O'Malley's. I've been in there.
Yeah, I'd say I didn't, man. There's so many things in Athens I've never been able to do. You know, that's the thing. Like, I always wanted to go to Georgia, but my parents couldn't afford it, and I wasn't a good enough student. So all I did was went to Dalton State College, dropped out 3 times, and continued to be a Georgia fan my whole life. That's the Braves and Bulldogs.
But that's what gave you the wisdom.
Yes. Well, yeah. I'm not saying I didn't earn anything out of my drop.
Just slow down, Tug. Not everybody leaves Dalton State College 3 times.
Well, I know. I do.
I wanted to make sure I had it right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, let me tell you.
Fighting Armadillos.
Well, the Roadrunners, but yes.
Dang it.
It's crazy. They have gotten to that point where they're picky about it. I've noticed that about Dalton.
Look, if you leave twice, you don't get another shot.
Well, no. I just mean about the name. Like if you just call it Dalton College.
Yeah.
Or Dalton Junior College is what it used to be. People get upset about that. Did you realize? I didn't realize this. Kid from Alpharetta that graduated when my son did. Apparently, they have one of the best, if not the best, nursing program in the state of Georgia at Dalton State College.
I just remember that when, and this is now going back a ways, I remember that when it was DeMarcus Ware, because I was covering that Senior Bowl that year, that he went to Troy State, and that by the time that he was a first-round pick, Troy State was no longer Troy State. Like, no. We're Troy University.
You better get it right.
And you better not say Troy State around any of those. I was like, you got it.
Sure.
From that point on, there's those universities that say, no. We're Troy.
Some people are sensitive about it, and a lot of institutions are sensitive
There's
about it.
There's no such thing as UCF. They're Central Florida.
That's right.
They're South Florida.
Yeah. You make sure you get it correct.
Part of what they do.
You better have your hat in your hand. Let's see. Kelly Wallace says, get a Cubano at Cali's and Tito's. Outstanding place, atmosphere, where all the locals go. Okay, good. I love it. Thank you for all these suggestions, because it does. I want to make sure that my cousin Nick has a good time in his first.
Or go to the bars
trip
beforehand, but that's more weird to me. I think because you missed the tailgate scene.
Yeah.
You want to tailgate.
We don't have a place to tailgate, so we had to figure that out too.
Oh, okay. You want me to make some phone calls on that one?
Yes, I do. What do you mean? Yes,
okay. Well, I mean, I know some people.
Okay.
Know some people.
All right.
Who tailgate regularly?
Because normally we just go to the 680 tailgates, which
is fine. Is there a tailgate this weekend?
Not, no.
Okay, so it's
Austin
changes
Peay.
things.
I mean,
Now the tailgates are waiting for Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama, Texas, and those games will have huge tailgates. But Ole Miss too, I believe, is one of the other. Because that's the first question I asked, dude.
Is there a tailgate?
Yeah, because let me tell you, those 680 tailgates are off the charts.
You can't beat it. Live music,
amazing.
All the product,
all you can eat, all you can drink. It's so much fun. Coca-Colas, ice cold Coca-Colas, all you can drink.
Yeah, it's just Austin Peay this weekend, another kind of pushover game. Boy, Kirby was upset that people were gone in the third quarter for Marshall.
This has gone on for years, and it was Nick Saban
used to do that
was one of the guys that led the charge on this, and it's always the same thing. When the girls leave, the guys leave, and that'll never change.
It's as simple as that.
And there's a simple reason why. Because if you happen to be the guy that runs into the girl at the bar, let's say they all left in the third quarter. You hung out with all your friends. You made it a point, we're going to watch the end of the game. So you stayed an extra hour and a half, 2 hours. By the time you get down to the bars where all the girls have gone to, and that one you wanted to talk to is a little intoxicated, her friends
are in protection mode. Should be.
Right. But if you're the guy who was there with her, and y'all both got a little tipsy together,
it's a different game.
It's a different game.
That's right.
So the guys leave when the girls leave. That's just a general rule. And to have Kirby suddenly not thinking, with that particular brain, that's how it goes.
And the other thing is, if it's a game in the second half, ain't nobody going anywhere.
No,
you know what I mean?
not.
And if you think anybody's leaving the Alabama game, it doesn't matter what the score is. Georgia could be winning by 100 and they wouldn't leave. Or Texas or Ole Miss, same way.
I just know 20-year-old me would have looked around and went, man, this is a real big sausage fest all of a sudden. We got to get out of here. Guys, we got to go.
I don't want to be in this sword fight with y'all. I'm out of here.
I mean, too many mistas, not enough sisters.
That's right. But it's funny, my wife brought that up. We were talking to my son last night. We were having the same conversation. What all should we do? And she asked Jacob, she was like, what do you think? We know you left early. What do you think? Kirby's mad at you now. He was like, yeah, I'm probably part of the problem.
I'm probably part of the problem.
He was like, but all the dudes were ready to go. Like, he went with I think there was 8 of them all together. And everyone, he's got a steady girlfriend, so he wasn't trying to connect with anybody that I know of. And everybody else was. So all of his buds are going, was he going to stay by himself? Get out of here.
Meanwhile, during the Tennessee game a couple of years ago when it was pouring, just downpour, my wife and I and my friend Brian Hoyt, we were just soaked to the bone. Hoyt's wife already decided, I'm going to go hide out somewhere. And we're yelling at everybody, you can't go anywhere. Coach needs us.
That's right.
We were the loudest people in the stadium. Tennessee couldn't run their offense. Like, we held up our end of the bargain. That's what he's hoping. He's trying to get you, as Kirby Smart, conditioned to be that way for the remainder of the season, because the home schedule is going to be...
It's a beast.
It's a beast. It's going to be awesome, and it's their chance to really make some noise.
So,
Ole Miss, Texas, Alabama.
And when it matters, the fans will be there. But I understand where Kirby's coming from. I understand what he's trying to do and the conditioning that he's doing. I get it. I get all of it. But I think you're right in the fact that you have to realize these are 20-year-old boys. Wherever the girls are going,
yes,
that's where the boys are going.
That's the game.
It's as simple as that. It is nothing more than just biology.
That's all it is. Just wired to do it.
Yeah. BLM, when all this was going down, we all looked back and we knew that this BLM thing was not good. This BLM thing was, all you had to do was look at their website.
Well, I did.
Yeah. All you had to do was look at their website, and you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt this was a very, very bad organization. Did it sound good on the surface? Sure. Because yes, of course, black people's life matters. Of course. It should go without saying. Every life matters, in my opinion. Now, you couldn't even say that then. But the legacy of BLM now, it's not quite as shiny as it once was.
So the day after George Floyd, have a coworker of mine, I would say a friend, but who knows, maybe he doesn't treat me as a friend, maybe he does, we tend to get along. And I remember he wandered into the studio, we started to chat about all this stuff, because that was all anybody wanted to talk about during that summer. He comes in, and he starts talking about police and how they act during traffic stops. And again, as the mayor of Reelsville, the new mayor of Reelsville, I kind of looked at him, and then looking back on it, like, yeah, it was pretty direct. Back then, everybody was grabbing their pearls. I was like, well, why can't you just behave during a traffic stop?
Like everybody else.
And he's like, well, and I go, he's like, well, the black community. I was like, well, then the black community has a problem. Just behave during a traffic stop. Like, that's all. And I'd say that applies to everybody, especially some of these crazy people that want to talk about, what is it, the group that says I'm not driving, I'm traveling?
Oh, the sovereign citizens.
The sovereign citizens. Every single one of y'all. Just behave.
Quit being nuts.
Come on. Like, it's always the same thing. It's always some, I know more than you, soccer mom or dude who, probably taught at a university, and so he's real going to tell you about, I know the law better than you do. It's always the same thing. All of you, every single one of you, regardless of color or anything, community, behave. The legacy of the BLM movement is body cams, and I love it. I can't get enough of the body cams. And it's not just people being shot, which, you know what, that's problematic. But listen, if you run at one of my police officer friends, men or woman, and they shoot you because you're brandishing a knife and running at them, well, then you get shot. Tough luck. Too bad.
You didn't have to do that.
You didn't have to do that. But the ones I really enjoy are the people that won't comply.
Won't get out of their car, won't show
hand
their
over
license.
their license, that they just start going down that road.
And then they pop the windshield.
And before you know it, it always ends the same way. If you just handed over the license,
you'd be on your way. You might have a ticket, but you'd be on your way.
You'd be done. It would be over with. In fact, you could even be well over the speed limit. Like, most of the time, they're not, hey, this guy was doing 25 miles an hour over. Okay, in the state of Georgia, that's a super speeder ticket. They're not looking to haul you in unless you have a warrant. Okay, they just want to write the ticket. We'll see you in a month. Here you go. Send your money in. That's it. It's a transaction. That's all. Yet, the legacy of BLM is that now that every officer has a body cam, I get so much enjoyment out of how dumb people are.
It's like cops on social media every day. It really is
every single day.
There's always a new one.
It's always somebody. I saw one of them yesterday where you had a gentleman who was riding his motorcycle and somebody did an illegal lane change. They cut through what should have been, it was a double lane. It was an HOV lane. Almost completely took the guy out. Like, he dropped his bike. And the first thing you see is a police officer roll up on his motorcycle and starts yelling at the guy to pull over, and he starts dressing him down. You could have killed that guy. And I'm looking at him, I'm going, foreigner, illegal. Like, I'm immediately like, that's my thought process.
Going through,
because I told you, I'm not racist. I'm highly prejudiced. I prejudge everything. I'm prejudiced. So as I'm watching this, I'm enjoying it because now I'm seeing this all from the perspective of police have a difficult job.
Dude, 99 their job is awful.
0.9% of the time, when you go through the body cams, the amount of tolerance that these people have.
And restraint. That's right.
Before it gets to the point of, all right, you're being ridiculous. This is what we're going to do about it. Like, they'll give you a whole lot of leeway. They give you just, if it takes me like 6 feet of rope to hang myself, they give you 60 feet of rope. Then it's down to 50. Then it's down to 40. And eventually they're like, okay, fine.
Fine. If you won't cooperate, if you won't be a civilized human, then I'm going to have to do what I got to do. And I don't envy their job at all. So every time that I interact with them, I'm going to be polite. I'm going to have my hands on the steering wheel, because that's all they want to know, is that you're not brandishing a weapon. That's the first thing that they need to know.
It doesn't happen very often. I do recall one time where we were at it was actually we were in the state of Alabama, and they were doing a routine DUI check. First thing I do, turn on the dome lights, everything else to the car, and pull up. Man. Here are my hands.
I got everything you need, because I know what you need
just in case. And then as he's looking in the back seat, he's like, oh, he's got 2 kids asleep in the back of the car. It's like, cool, no problem. The last time I got pulled over, I accidentally ran a red light. At the time, I was trying to take my daughter to a volleyball match. We were trying to find a fork that she dropped, and I ran the light. Guy pulled me right over. I pulled right into the parking lot. He comes walking up, and I just said, I ran that. That's on me.
Yeah.
And he kind of looked at me. He goes, and he just kind of saw what was going on. I just told him, I said, we were trying to find a fork. I dropped it. I looked up, and I saw I ran the light. That's on me. And he goes, okay, well, just be careful. And turn me, because I wasn't looking to fight you. Yeah. In fact, I told him, I did exactly what you saw.
Yeah. Dude, we're dealing with something very similar now with my son and his speeding ticket. Let me tell you, in North Carolina, it's 15 to be a super speeder. Holy cow. And we're sitting, but when the officer came to my son's, his Jeep when he pulled him over, he was like, you know how fast you're going? He was like, yeah, I was doing, 16 to 45. Same thing. He was like, yep, I did it. I know. It's really easy. And most people know exactly what they get pulled over for. It's not a mystery.
That's the BLM legacy. They stole your money, and then they found out what police had kind of told you. There's a lot of people that are jackasses when you get pulled over.
Freedom of speech is dead in the place it was born. Next on Extra 106.3.
Sports news powered by 680 The Fan and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, September 4th. The Atlanta Braves, well, their 2-game losing streak is now over as the Bats woke up in Chicago after being no hit for 6 innings. The Braves ended up beating the Cubs 5-1. The final, new Braves shortstop Ha-Sung Kim with a 3-run homer in the 7th inning to break things open. The team is now off today before returning home for a weekend series with the Seattle Mariners beginning tomorrow night. The NFL, it returns tonight as the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will host the Dallas Cowboys to kick off the season from Philadelphia for Thursday Night Football. The Eagles are an 8.5-point favorite tonight. Kickoff is set for 8:20. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
What's your biggest investment? Is it your 401k? Is it your retirement savings? What's your biggest asset? It's probably your home, right? So if your asset is the biggest is your home, you should be taking care of your home. You should be making sure that your home is in tip-top shape. And it's easy. It is so easy to be like, I'll get to it at some point. We'll eventually get to sprucing the place up. But if it's your biggest asset, don't sit around. It's easy to do that. And then down the road, things are falling apart and in disarray, and your biggest asset is then in duress. You don't want to wait on that. So call Southern Exteriors today. They can take care of all the problems you have on the outside of your home. If there's problems, maybe there's no problems. You just want to spruce it up. Maybe you just want to give it a little facelift. New coat of paint, if you will. They can do that. They can paint the entire house. They can change out the siding with whatever siding you choose. You know, that facelift that you think you'd like to have. Changing out the windows, doors, fixing the roof. We've not had a rain, in a day or two, especially a heavy, heavy rain. But that don't mean one's not coming. And when that does happen, make sure that your home is taken care of. The roof is in tip-top shape, ready to protect your home from any sort of moisture that might get inside, mold, mildew, all the horrendous things that do happen when there is a leak in the roof. Get it repaired, get it updated, maybe get it replaced. This is something that me and my wife just realized that we need to do. We're going to do it too. if you'd like to follow our lead, call Southern Exteriors at 8779-SOUTHERN or go to southernexteriors.co. They'll give you 10% off or give you a 12 months 0% financing. Whatever you choose, whatever works for your budget best at Southern Exteriors.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Hey, it's Los. We're here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, I've learned a lot about this car buying process from you. Is that typical of most of the clients you've worked with?
Yeah, I'm finding out it's even more typical. I mean, people are learning more and more, and maybe it's because I overload them with information because I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to make sure you know everything.
Do I have to have a particular make and model in mind when I call you, or is it just open to anything I want?
It's open. I can get any make, any year, any model.
I might be looking to trade in my vehicle. Can you accommodate that as the honest car guy?
For sure. I mean, we love it when people want to trade in cars because honestly, it's best for you to trade in a car. Why? Because you get a tax savings.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the honest car guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Atlanta without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Atlanta for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FLIP to 64,000. Atlanta is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Atlanta and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FLIP to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FLIP to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FLIP to 64,000.
The only thing better than covering all these Trump wins is watching the left implode over it.
Donald Trump is entertaining the world while he's changing the whole freaking planet.
Extra 106.3 is committed to bring you the news you care about most. From Atlanta legends and conservative voices you've relied on for a generation. Proud to be Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10. Glad that you're here. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know. It's been such an honor to host the show.
I do. Tug is like, yeah.
Well, that's not true at all. What are you talking about, Los? I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative.
That's what Tug was telling me during the break. He's like, oh, I can't believe I've got to go to another one of these signings.
No.
I can't believe I have to get in front of these people again.
Terrible. I can't believe you'd say that.
He's like, I hope they don't even come up to me when I'm in Athens. I'll be like, no. If you've ever had the Heisman before, that'll be Tug Cowart when you approach him.
No, sir. Not at all.
He's going to stick that hand out and be like, ha, get away from me.
Dude, I'm so impressed by all the suggestions of people, saying, hey, here's some things you need to do.
Yes, very cool.
When you're in Athens, and I appreciate them all. Please continue them. My cousin Nick coming into town tomorrow. Never been to Athens. Lifelong Georgia fan. Lives in Orlando. I cannot imagine living in Orlando. And there's nothing. Love Nick. Love going to visit him. I would not want to live in Orlando.
Can I refer to him as Neeeeek?
I don't think he would mind that.
So,
I mean, why would...
Because I want to call him Neek.
but why? Like, it's just because it's funny?
Well, I mean, just
because
sounds more. I mean, Nick. It's boring.
Yeah, right. Neek.
That's fun.
Fair enough.
Especially if you've had a couple.
Yeah, right. Well, then that naturally happens to me anyway.
It's going to hit you on Saturday, and you're going to be like, Los was right. You're like, Neek.
That's right. This dude has a plan, man. Get yourself a couple drinks in you and change people's name up.
He was right.
Yeah.
Neek is a lot better.
I do. That is something that I have done for as long as I can remember. And my wife never got it. And I don't know if there's anything to get. But I always mess up people's name on purpose or mess up the title of something on purpose just to make myself giggle. Like it means nothing. I'm not trying to entertain anybody else except myself. And for whatever reason, now she does it. Like she'll say, and then I'm like, that's weird. She's like, I'm just doing what you do.
I already gave you my best one. Yeah. When the anus is on you.
Yes, there's nothing greater than that.
I mean, I gave you my best one.
Anus?
Now you're going to have to do it to Neek over the weekend. He'll be like, do you want to go? I'm like, well, the anus is on you to decide.
Yeah, and then he's going to be like,
the what?
What do you say? Huh? That don't make any sense whatsoever.
Use that against your friends this weekend.
Yeah, the anus is on you instead of the onus.
Yes.
Dude, it will generate incredible conversation and incredible laughter, especially if you've had a couple.
A lot of people will be very confused. They'll think, did you really mean to say that?
Like Neil Bortz.
Neil Bortz.
He had no idea.
Worked out.
And he when he said anus question mark, he had no idea what was happening. And we explained it to him, and then all of a sudden, dude, he falls out. And now jumps in and
now he's like, haha.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Like I'm sure he's using it on some poor, waitress in Naples.
That's exactly
well,
right.
I'm gonna need some coffee and some creamer, and the anus is on you to get it over here in a couple minutes.
Anus?
The what?
Dude, and I was
Have you talked to that guy who keeps saying the word anus?
Yeah, right. He's odd over there, man. Do you want to take up that table? I don't think I want to go. I don't want to deal with him. I don't want to interact with him anymore. And I've created a elect Los for Reals sign because you are the new mayor of Reelsville. We need to have T-shirts. We're always talking about printing up things. This is another thing we need to have printed up.
If I don't run for that, I'm going to run for mornings.
Run for what?
That's right.
I have no
Los for mornings.
Well, you're already in mornings.
But what if I get voted in?
but I feel like you've already been voted in. You've got a vote of confidence.
But what if I win?
But I feel like you already have. I feel like you're winning right now.
I really think we need yard signs. Los for mornings.
Dude, it would
2026.
It would cause a stir for sure.
In fact,
can I be your VP for mornings?
I don't know.
Got to check the districts and make sure none of the PM voters are getting in there. We got to gerrymander this thing, make sure the mornings voters are represented.
That's right. This is going to be a vetting process. I'm going to have to kind of decide. I've told you I will be a benevolent dictator, but yes, before we actually ever get fanny packs, yard signs are not a problem. I'm going to have yard signs made, Los for mornings, and we'll just hand them out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe fans.
Maybe we might do like Los and Tug, but then they'll get all upset and they'll be like, no, it's got to be Tug and Los.
No, who cares?
I'll be like, what do you mean? Why do we got to do that? I'm the one running for mornings.
That's exactly right. It don't have to be anything. We can label it any way we want. Yeah, I think I don't know that we're ever going to get our fanny packs or our mugs.
We've put in the request.
More of a pipe dream than anything
working
else.
on it.
And that if it comes around, we'll be fortunate. We'll be blessed. Who knows if it will? I'm not sure if it will or not. But I would be the very first to vote for Los for Reelsville, the new mayor of Reelsville. When we have to have the tough and difficult conversations, we will. And if you want to be involved in those tough and difficult conversations that are not always the most fun, but I feel like they need to be had, that's where we do. That's why. Oh my gosh, he's already. Dude, look at those.
It's my yard sign.
Those are nice.
Los for mornings 2026.
I love it, dude. Those are the greatest of all time. And if you got a fan, especially during these last blasts, because we went through faux fall, last week, and we're back to summer for a few more days. Autumn actually gets here on the 22nd. But you're going to need those, especially this weekend at the Georgia game. Can you imagine how many people you could put a Los for Mornings fan in their hand?
It'd be awesome.
Dude, it'd be the greatest of all time.
Make so many friends.
We're going to talk about the place that freedom of speech was born and the place that it has apparently died. Here coming up in the next hour, 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Your Atlanta carrier experts, 770-GET-HEAT. CentralHeat.com is the website. And this is one of those stories that is easily overlooked.
It's a monstrous story.
And it's a huge
story.
It cannot be overlooked because what is happening in England right now is happening across the UK. Really, would have happened here and still could happen here, but would have definitely been. Had Kamala been elected, would be happening in America right now as we speak.
You want to beat these nutcases, you've got to beat them on this front over the next couple of months.
We dodged a complete bullet. We'll explain what we mean next on Extra 1063.
For the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 1063.
Okay, so you go out and buy a ticket for this super big Powerball lottery, and let's say you win. Well, if you buy the ticket in Georgia, you have one thing in your favor. Georgia won't rat you out. You can stay anonymous. Where I live in Florida, that's not the case. You've got 6 months in Florida to get your affairs in order, and then the state tells everybody you're a squintillionaire. I've spent a lot of time on the air talking about people that won the lottery, whose lives later became miserable, and in some cases ended. There's a psychological study of this. It's called The Curse of the Lottery. So now, to help you out, I present to you from one such psychological study 5 reasons you do not want to win this Powerball lottery. The first reason is you actually like being married. Unless you were drop dead 100% certain about the strength of your marriage, winning a huge lottery is going to screw that up. Unexpenses and riches that are unprepared for cause immense strain on a relationship. Bye-bye hubby, bye-bye wife. Number 2, you don't want to be killed. Yeah, it's true. Quite a few lottery winners have been murdered by people they refuse to give money to or by people thinking they might inherit it. Number 3, you find the idea of bankruptcy unappealing. Yep, you'd be surprised how many people win tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in a lottery and end up going bankrupt. Number 4, you're superstitious. This curse of the lottery thing is real. I'll just let you Google Jack Whitaker, lottery winner. And number 5, hey, your life isn't all that bad the way it is now. Think about it. Do you really want your friends to hate you and the media to constantly be on your tail? Go out there and win a huge lottery and let the public find out. At least on that issue, you have an edge in Georgia. Neil Bortz, Extra 1063.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law. Don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or vansantlaw.com. A government watchdog said Illinois' map represents a nearly perfect model for everything that can go wrong with redistricting.
The Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 1063 and the Extra app. WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
Making him defend his Make America Healthy Again agenda. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Health and Human Services Secretary, will testify at a Senate hearing next hour as Democrats call for him to be replaced over the controversial firing of the CDC director and other HHS restructuring and policy changes they claim put Americans' health at risk.
Secretary Kennedy's been preparing all week. I have never seen him more fired up I'm very excited about this hearing.
That's White House advisor Kelly Means telling Fox the CDC does need reform after failures from COVID response to controlling diseases. Now, Kennedy could also face questions over his vaccine skepticism as Florida takes steps he might support. State Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo says they want to end childhood vaccine requirements, including the mandates to attend schools.
Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery.
Some Florida Democrats call ending the mandates dangerous. The American Medical Association says it would undermine decades of public health progress. Special U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff is in France meeting with European allies working on security guarantees for Ukraine once the war with Russia ends. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is also there and is supposed to have a phone call this morning with President Trump.
Weeks after President Trump's Alaska summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin and a follow-up meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky last month, no meeting between the two warring leaders is scheduled.
And it's just going on and on. It's one's defense, one's offense. The offense moves a little bit, just a little bit. You take a look. They move inches.
President Trump expressed frustration at the war as he met with Poland's newly elected president.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A disaster is getting worse in Afghanistan. It's up to more than 2,200 dead, and in Sunday's earthquake, a lot of areas cut off by landslides and rockfall. America's list.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. No, you better sit this one out. It's no way to live. So if pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help get you back to life on your terms. One where you say yes a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients does not just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, joints, or muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. So call 1-800-4RELIEF and give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day to get your life back. Just go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. And see how you can say yes to more of everything you want.
Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. You know, you can download the Kimmer podcast on the Extra 106.3 app, along with a ton of other great shows. Go get it, for crying out loud, now on Apple or Android.
You dodged a bullet. We dodged a bullet. Thankfully. Yeah, well, partially, I guess.
They're trying.
Yeah, there's not that they won't try. It's not that they're going to give up by any means, but they would have advanced so far. Look at all that Donald Trump's accomplished in 6 months. Now imagine going the other way. Anti-American, everything that you know, common sense tells you, going against all that. That's what we would have had if Kamala Harris would have been elected president. We avoided it. We dodged that bullet. And it really does kind of open your eyes when you see what's happening over in the UK. Comedian Graham Linehan was arrested. He was in the United States doing shows. He's a comedian. He's Irish. And he flies back into Heathrow. He's arrested. And what did they arrest him for? Posting 3 things critical of the trans movement. And they arrested him for it. So his freedom of speech was taken away.
I feel like I've done a little bit of work on this because I did watch his episode of Joe Rogan. This would be, in the way to put it for the audience, imagine if Larry David was arrested for the comedy that he was doing. Larry David, who was your co-creator of Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, he has just his rundown of, wow, okay, this guy helped dictate what the 90s and what the aughts were from a comedic perspective. That's Graham Linehan. That's exactly what he did. That's how popular he is when it comes to comedy writing in the UK. As much as you can say he's a comedic writer. It's what he is. But one of the things he's done is he's been very invested in telling you the dangers of the trans movement, what it does to kids, what the results been, what the medication does. And so after his arrest, did you see what he did today?
Absolutely. He is courageous beyond what most people are.
He showed up because he's having to go and make the public appearance. He's got on a sandwich board that says there's no such thing as a transgender child.
And then on the back,
when he spins it around, it then comes, he's like just fight it. It says, keep men out of women's sports. This is the guy in the UK who is saying the exact same things we are, who's pointing it out on social media. And he had 5 officers there to arrest him for it in the UK.
When he came home. It's unreal to think about, for me anyway, as a guy that's never been afraid to say anything necessarily, that you, as far as if you're a citizen in the UK, that not only can you not say anything, if you post something, they'll come after you and arrest you, or if you pray silently in front of an abortion clinic, they will come and arrest you. All documented cases, all actual cases of people being arrested for doing nothing more than sharing their beliefs in public.
And what the UK fell into was that this speech is mean. All right, like we have protections for hate speech. As much as people want to get all upset about, I can't believe people can say that. Well, we have freedom of speech, including hate speech. It's all protected. About the only speech that isn't protected is when you're making threats. That's when, the authorities will show up at your home. Keep making bomb threats, you keep saying you're going to kill different officials. Oh, yeah, they're going to show up at your house. But you can say whatever you want to outside of that all day long, and you should be able to.
And the crazy thing is you can say that too, but there is somebody that's going to take notice. You physically have the right to say it.
But we were teetering where this mentality of saying what is obviously true, we actually had during the Biden years, this moment of, well, how do we get people to stop doing this? Well, how do we punish people for doing this? And the UK went down this road. We were right on that edge. Yeah. And part of the reason why is the Second Amendment so important? Because it helps take care of the First Amendment. These two are in conjunction with one another. You know why you can't get me to stop saying things? We got guns.
And you can't force me.
And
if I have to, I'm willing to defend whatever I want whatever I need to.
Because when the government gets too big, encroaches too much on freedom, people can do something about it. In fact, we're a treasonous bunch of bastards.
Yes, we are.
And we don't have a problem talking about it.
Our country was founded on treason.
Treason, yes.
And it's funny to see the libs that defend this. And especially when they want to talk about, they want to bring guns into the conversation, they always go back. What are you going to do? Overthrow the government?
No, I'm just going to keep you from showing up to my house.
But if it goes far enough, and I'm not saying that's what's going to happen or what needs to happen.
But there's always a threat there.
But there's always, is exactly right. Could it happen? Yes, because it's already happened once.
There's always the threat. And so this is the problem that you now have in the UK and throughout all of Europe. This was supposed to be the other place where Western civilization flourished and depended on democracy. And democracy is built on free speech. Graham Linehan is exactly the epitome of what is wrong with that area of the world right now.
They're arresting
posts.
The crazy thing is with all of the immigration and people are fighting back, they're arresting people for flying the flag of England, for flying a flag that they're saying that the government says its own flag is racist. So anybody that flies it, they're having somebody knock on the door. And now you're seeing people just go around and spray paint the flag on the ground just to show their disdain for what's happening in their own country. And I understand why. I get it. Because I saw it during COVID. Lowe's saw it during COVID. You saw it during COVID. They couldn't wait to tell you what you could and couldn't do. They couldn't wait to tell you where you could and couldn't go. Yet if you watched those same people in charge, they didn't follow those same rules. None of them did. All the ones that pushed hardest for the most restrictions are the ones that broke those same restrictions. Think about AOC flying down to Florida. Think about Gretchen Whitmer's husband going out on his boat. And was it Nancy Pelosi going to get her hair done? All of those things. Those were the people that wanted the restrictions the most, Los. And yet they didn't want you to have that same freedom.
One of the other reasons I really like seeing what Graham Linehan has done It's because he doesn't back off at all.
I mean, he's in front of the courthouse with a sandwich board.
So there is and this is a video that he has from...
Dude, that takes stones.
Yeah, from earlier in September. It's like September 1st. And it is a very butch man wearing women's clothes. And all he writes is he went ahead and quote tweeted it. He said, yeah, sure, let him into women's spaces. What could go wrong?
Nothing at all.
And when you hear him, when he was on with Joe Rogan, he's extremely measured. But you can see when you understand the atmosphere of what's going on in the UK, he's trying to sound the alarm. Like, this is an area... Trans is basically a vessel for censorship. That's all it is. And if it's not that, then it's just as you described. It's COVID. Like, what is the vessel for censorship? All of it is censorship. But it's a matter of, okay, well, people won't... All right, we tried the COVID thing. Okay, people won't go for that. All right, let's try trans. Because if we have people that don't say anything about this and we can tell them they can't say anything, then they'll accept not being able to say things. That's what he's pointing out. This is just what the current censorship vehicle is. That's all. It'll be something else down the road, but this is what it is. Even in this country, they tried it as illegals. You can't say that about illegals. They're just here to help you. They're just here to paint your house, pick your fruit and your vegetables. And we ran roughshod right over that. And they tested it, and it never worked. So this is the next one. This is all it ever is. It's all just about censorship. They don't want you being able to have this speech. Hillary Clinton told you as flat out. She's like, we need to have more control over these people.
She said it. It's not that long ago when she said this. She was like, we want to lock down things like Twitter.
The CEO of NPR.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely right.
You know, the truth sometimes get in the way of consensus.
That's exactly right. And I've always wondered why, like, leftists and Islamists work together so well. It's because they have that same common enemy. And it is you and I. It is free speech. It is freedom. They work together because they want to take that away from you. Those are strange bedfellows. The Islamists and those trans activists, those leftist activists, because they don't agree on anything except they want you to shut up.
What have we been told since Minneapolis happened? If I tell you that trans women are violent, well, you can't say that, Los. That's just mean. Kids are dead. You can't say that. Here's Graham from September 1st. There's a post. Support trans rights or I'll effing kill you. He takes that post and he points out, he just says, naturally, they meant it. They're just violent, period, men, period.
What crazy violent men. Wrong?
They're just crazy violent men. They're dressed up as women. They're so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, mental illness is real.
That's what it is.
And it's on display.
But you're not allowed to say that. That's the new censorship. If you accept it, that we can't say what reality is, then they can start giving you your media,
right, here's your list
leaders.
Of things that
here's the approved things you can say. I thought it was really indicative of where the Democrats are. When they had the memo that went out and we read through it and we had a lot of fun with it, the phrases and words you weren't allowed to say.
Birthing person, chest feeder.
And it was because it signaled to the audience that you're crazy. Microaggression.
Yeah, all this silly nonsense.
All of these phrases are like, do not say this. People will immediately turn you off. All right, they're trying to censor their own language. You don't think they want to censor yours?
Absolutely they do.
Absolutely.
They
100%.
don't want to let go of those words.
No, and so if you say trans women are just violent men, certainly can't say that around the water cooler. If I walked out in the hallway, I would have people in management and sales going like, oh my God, you're not allowed to say that. Why not? It's true.
Yeah, it doesn't change the fact that it's true.
And so I appreciate Grant Lynham for basically looking at the rest of the UK government and going like, what am I saying that's false?
Dude, it's happening in every country in Europe. Every one of these countries are cracking down on freedom of speech. In the place that human rights were born, in Europe, when we thought we had a common ground between Europe, and I've said this a bunch of times, I don't think we have much in common with Europe anymore. The Europeans have basically rolled over and said, yeah, we'll just let you run roughshod over us.
Have at my belly.
Yeah, whatever you want, take it.
I'm just that dog.
Whatever you want, take it. And I'm not willing to do that. And I think the American people are so fed up that when they see that here, they recognize the fact that, or when they see it there, they recognize the fact that it could easily happen here, and that's what they've been conditioned to think and believe and be taught what to say, and what not to say on the mainstream media news at night, every night.
I don't mean to leave this right on Trump's doorstep, but I think it's important. He's been a nationalist for so long that the country has now turned towards nationalism. That has not been what the case is in Europe. You haven't had a Donald Trump-style leader there for a long time.
Which is why they asked for him.
This is why these people don't know how to fight. They don't know how to do this anymore. They don't know how to take pride in their own country and say, Ireland is for the Irish. Because when you say that, oh my God, that's racist. You can't possibly say that.
Yeah. But if you said, I don't know, Palestine is for the Palestinians, if you were to say that, how many people would read?
He gets it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh, good for you.
But isn't it amazing how dependent on what country, what area, what geography you choose?
So oppressor, oppressee is the way they look at it.
What's allowed and what's not?
Yes. And they'll allow that right up into the point where when you have, and this is another crazy part's going on in Britain, and they will not talk about it on a regular basis, but the numbers are what they are. Rapes are through the roof.
Especially of young girls.
And why is this? Because Muslim men that are coming in from these countries don't recognize age or the fact that this is a crime. It's cultural.
Sharia law allows for it.
Yes. In fact, endorses it. Says it to do it to your enemies.
That's right. Take them as sex slaves.
Yes.
And humiliate them and kill them if necessary.
So what happens when your culture says this is completely fine and yet you're trying to assimilate these people into another one? They don't assimilate. They just get all rapey.
I don't have the politician's name from the UK. But I believe it was somewhere in London, somewhere. And he basically said, yes, we know that these Pakistan rape gangs are a real thing.
Yes, they are.
But we're not willing to say it out loud. We're not willing to denounce it because it will create cultural upheaval. That was his answer. He's not going to say it. He's going to allow these little girls to be taken advantage of because he's afraid of cultural upheaval.
So instead, you need the J.K. Rowlings and the Grand Lynhams of the world
to save us from ourselves,
to speak to these people and have them just at least remind them about what they've had in their past, and that you can have this if you want, but it's going to start by getting rid of these people. There's nothing wrong with the fact that some people cannot culturally assimilate to your culture.
Or just genuinely choose not to.
And then they can't be part of your culture.
That's right.
That's all.
And you shouldn't have to be forced to.
And this isn't about, this isn't 1930s, 1940s Germany where it's like, well, let's exterminate them. No, you got to go back home.
You just got to go home.
You just got to go home.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
It's not working.
Yeah.
You got to go home.
Yeah. That's the, and it's funny because this goes right along the same lines with the Islamists and those crazy leftists like this that don't care about freedom of speech. It's basically, we're at war with Western civilization. An enemy of my enemy is my friend. That is what is happening right now across Europe and would be happening. It's kind of happening in the United States. We've been able to fend it off a little bit with the election of Donald Trump. But don't think they're going to give up. As we started this conversation with, yes, we avoided the bullet, but they are not going to give up. This is going to be a continual thing. And the messy part is going to be, Los, once they accomplish their goal of censoring everybody and everything has changed, America's gone, the Europe doesn't exist the way it used to, then these people, the leftists and then the Islamists, are going to be at each other's throats. They're going to be killing each other. That's what it'll eventually evolve into.
I give you all homework. This is your own fight club. At some point today, just in passing, just go, have you noticed how violent trans women are? There are some violent men. And that's it. And just see what happens.
Just drop the bomb, walk off.
Have you noticed how violent they are?
I think at least a lot of people are going to go, yeah, I have. I see it every day. I've seen it over and over and over again, seemingly. When we come back, 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999, 877-9Southern, southernexteriors.co. Jerry Nadler is retiring the same way that Joe Biden retired. Next on Extra.
The Morning Extra, Neil Bortz, and The Kimmer Show are all online for you anytime at thepodcastpark.com. Plus all of Extra's exclusive podcasts like Ben Burnett, Janelle King, and so much more. All at thepodcastpark.com. Presented by Associated Credit Union.
Hey, Braves fans. Some things just get better with time, like your love for the Braves and banking with Truist One Checking. It's checking for life, offering everyday essentials like no overdraft fees and a tap-to-pay debit card. And great extras you'll appreciate season after season, like automatic upgrades as your balances grow. Be ready every inning with Truist One Checking. It's life-ready checking that grows with you. Get Truist One Checking today. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Calling all contractors. This is Devin Stovall with Stovall & Company, and we're here for you. We're a third-generation, family-owned and operated company for 75 years and just opened our 11th location in Canton on 9500 Union Hill Road. We're proud to provide your wholesale irrigation, nursery, and landscape supply needs. How do you envision your dream outdoor space for you or your customers? We're here to fulfill them all. We all take pride in special requests and shipping right to your job site. Here at Stovall, we have it all. Check us out at StovallINC.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Are home repairs piling up? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Relax. We've got you covered. From drywall dings and leaky faucets to deck repairs and trim replacement, we're your one-stop shop for everything for your home needs. No more juggling multiple contractors. Just call us at the Trusted Toolbox and we'll handle it. Your home deserves the best, and we don't want you breaking your back trying. Call the Trusted Toolbox today at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. The Trusted Toolbox, your one-stop shop for home repairs and more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Having 4 kids in 4 years changed everything, especially our perspective on food.
We started paying closer attention to the things that mattered most, especially the food we were putting on our table.
We wanted better, safer, healthier. And when we couldn't find it, we took matters into our own hands. We started Good Ranchers.
We partner with local farms and ranches right here in the U.S., families who have been raising livestock the right way for generations, hardworking men and women who care deeply about the land, their animals, and the quality of the food they produce.
We're proud to bring their legacy to your table. 100% American beef, chicken, pork, and wild-caught seafood.
And then we make it simple. We deliver it straight to your door.
Because we believe in making it easy for families like ours and yours to enjoy meat you can trust. Food that honors the American farmer. Food that brings people together.
Visit GoodRanchers.com and use code RANCH40 to get $40 off your first order. Plus, free meat for an entire year.
GoodRanchers.com. American meat delivered.
This is House Call for Health. A study suggests most doctors ignore guidelines when prescribing attention deficit hyperactivity disorder medication to preschoolers. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends preschoolers diagnosed with ADHD first get 6 months of behavioral therapy before being prescribed drugs. However, the study finds that was followed in only around 14% of U.S. cases involving children ages 3 to 5. Researchers tracking the treatment of more than 9,700 kids, more than 42% got a prescription for an ADHD medicine within a month, just 14% after the recommended 6 months of therapy. Experts say therapy helps build coping skills and habits that are in sync with how kids' brains work. However, immediate use of a stimulant medication could lead to increased side effects, including aggression or irritability. This study was published in the JAMA Network Open Medical Journal. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Thursday, September 4th. A Georgia state representative has filed a Title IX lawsuit against a high school in Marietta. Georgia Representative John Carson filed the complaint with the U.S. Department of Education against Pope High School because he says boys are allowed to be on the roster of more than one sports team at one time, while girls are not. Carson specifically named the girls' varsity basketball team in the complaint. Equifax is planning a major expansion at its Windward Concourse campus in Alpharetta. The company is investing $25 million to expand its data center space. The new investment is said to bring over 200 new jobs to the area. Once the expansion is complete, the campus will be Equifax's largest office space. And today marks 1 year since the tragic shooting at Appalachia High School that left 4 dead and 9 wounded. The school is open today for a day of service for students instead of the normal class schedule. There'll be a vigil this evening around the school's flagpole to honor the victims of the shooting. Today's weather mostly sunny with some warmer temperatures in the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. Windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters. They do all that to the outside of your home. They'll give you 10% off any job or 12 months, 0% financing, southernexteriors.co.
I need to figure out how to frame a couple walls in a basement. Like, I'm taking it upon myself now to go on YouTube because at this point I feel like I can figure out anything with the help of YouTube.
Yeah, most people do.
Like last night we had a little bit of a faucet issue. Turns out YouTube, about 45 seconds, figured it out, not a problem, got it taken care of.
Nice work.
So now, I mean, I've already got the list of what I need. I was already given that. So now it's just a matter
give you that, or your dad give you that?
No, I had somebody who gave me a quote, except their quote included, listen, he does good work. I just wasn't comfortable spending that much on the labor end of it. But I know what all the pieces are.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if I can just figure this out on my own, I can save myself a grip of money.
Boy,
a lot of money. And I just got to figure out how to do it. Right? Like, it can't be that hard just to do 5 walls.
I'm not brave enough for that stuff because I've gone into projects a few times thinking I can handle this, and then I get third way into it, halfway into it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not good at this.
Yeah, but you went to Dalton State 3 times. Like, I'm sure you can handle a wall.
Nah, that's the problem. I went to Dalton State 3 times and dropped out.
You used to stare at radar equipment, high-end equipment for the U.S. military, for the U.S. Navy.
I could figure all that out.
Yes.
I'm good with all that stuff. Building stuff, I'm just not. I'm not good with my hands. And my daddy, my late father, that I miss him so much every day, was incredible, and he tried to bestow that knowledge on me over and over and over again, and I rejected it. And I look back now and feel like such a dummy for so many years.
You ever have that moment where you're like, Daddy?
Yeah.
I just want to go to sea, Daddy.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
He's like, wanted you to learn how to frame a wall.
That's exactly which he could.
And you're like, Daddy, I just want to go stare at radar,
He could
Daddy.
have wired up your entire house. He's self-taught. He was not a well-educated man, but a very, very smart man. Had he been educated, man, he could have. There's no limits.
I just want to go to Somalia, Daddy.
Yeah, no. I remember I told him I joined the Navy, and he was like, "You did what?" It was like, I just said, "I'm not going to work in these carpet mills," and he couldn't believe it. He's like, "Well, what are you going to do?" He just couldn't wrap his head around. And then afterwards, he was like, "Best decision you ever made," and he's exactly right. But I do admire the fact that you're not afraid to attempt this stuff, because I've gotten so gun shy, I'm afraid to even try it.
Were you like Varsity Blues, where you just looked at your dad and you just said, I don't want your life?
More or less.
More or less? That was more along those lines?
Wasn't the exact verbiage, but yes.
Daddy, I don't want your life.
Yeah, right, with that weird accent. That
there he's covered in carpet grime, and he's been working his butt off, and he's been providing for the family, and he's looking at you like, man, that cuts deep.
Coming off the Tufton machine or the Creel rack.
That's right.
No kidding, dude. You would come home and you'd have particles of carpet on his hair.
And that's why you had to go to the Major League Baseball All-Star game, because you had to have that
pay homage,
that connection. Because he went to an All-Star game.
Do you remember it was the picture of it was at a Kentucky basketball game, Rupp Arena, and it was the miner, and he's covered from head to toe in just filth and grime from being down in the mines, and his little boy was with him, just clean as a whistle. That story, that's me and my daddy right there. He did all the hard work, made sure that I was able to, play.
You're so dirty and covered in carpet, Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't grime from the mine like in Kentucky, but that picture, because of the way I was raised, really resonated with it. It tugged at my heartstrings, I ain't gonna lie.
So if your dad can do that, maybe I can frame a 3-foot wall.
Dude, I believe in you. I've seen the work that you've done. I just get...
I'm a little nervous, because you can mess it up.
You can. But then you do have a little bit of a backstop, like if somebody comes back to your house, because your parents are really good with that stuff.
Can I have my father-in-law come and check the work?
That's exactly right, man. Come over and check everything out for you. Then you're in good shape. So I feel like you have a bit of a safety net, but I admire the fact you're willing to try and start the project, because I don't know that I would be.
I'm looking it up on YouTube right now. I'll figure this thing out.
How to frame a wall.
Look, for beginners, that's me. It can't be that difficult, right?
Yeah, man.
I mean,
It would be for me.
Measure twice, cut once.
That's right.
I know that rule.
And as my father-in-law says, whenever we do cut anything, like whenever he measures it, and if it's a tiny bit off, he always says, close enough for government work.
That's right. Which he worked with the government for a long time, didn't he?
Like, it's close enough. Doesn't have to be exact. Close enough for government work.
That's right. I don't know about you, but the Democrats, they seem to have this mantra. It is that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. He's a guy that's going to take down the whole country that we live in, and we're living right now in Nazi America. If I hear that one more time, I swear I'm going to throw up. It just seems like it gets older and older and older. And these are the same people that do not allow their own constituents, their own voters, to decide who's going to run for president. They've handpicked every candidate and pushed people out, allowed people in that wasn't supposed to be. They did it with Bernie. They did it with Hillary. They did it with Kamala. They did it with Biden. They've done it every time. I'm not a fan of Jerry Nadler. But the reason I bring him up...
He makes me laugh because he did his pants once.
Well, that, and he
then had to waddle off.
Yeah, he waddles like the penguin. But he announced that he's going to retire. But again, it's not by his own free will. He said there's still some things he wants to accomplish. And again, I don't agree with him. But I bring this up to point out why that Donald Trump's not the threat to democracy. It's the Democrat Party. He said he wants to be there to help stop Trump dismantling this democracy. But I want you to listen to what he said, his quote. He said he'd been persuaded that it was time for him to move on, a time for a changing of the guard. Persuaded. He was strong-armed. He was told, you are going to step down. Your time is done. We are moving on from you. Isn't it amazing to hear the Democrats yell every day about what a threat to democracy is, while at the same exact time, they're actually circumventing democracy. They're not letting their voters choose in a primary if Jerry Nadler stays or goes. Man, if he's not the guy, primary him, which is the plan. But they've twisted his arm so much that he's just going to step away because he knows his time is over, because they've decided his time is over.
When you hear threat to democracy, I think I keep going back to the audio of Donald Trump when he was on the world stage and he brought up, my job is to put power back in the hands of the people of the United States. It's like, so that's what he's a conduit of. What is he the threat to? It's not democracy. He's the threat to this oligarchy that runs this country. He's a threat to the people like Jerry Nadler who sit in Congress for 30 or 40 years and they're like, I run the show here.
The machine is a threat to the machine.
Absolutely, 100%. So why would I ever look at him as the threat to democracy when the threat to democracy is a ruling class? It's always going to be a ruling class. And they called Donald Trump, we got to fight the oligarchy. All right, you mean the guy that had the presidency for 4 years, you cheated him out of it, and he left willingly, and then he got it back?
Isn't it revealing, though?
Didn't he already give you all the power back?
Yeah. Isn't it revealing, though, when you see that little crack? You know how, like if there's if the lights are, off in the house, except for in one bedroom, and there's the door's cracked open. It's not open, but it's just cracked open. You can kind of see the light peering through there. Isn't that what you're getting with Jerry Nadler here? When he's giving you a peek behind the kimono, if you will. When he said, I'd been persuaded it was time for a change. He's giving you exactly what the Democrats do and have always done. I don't know that he's brave enough to go on some talk show to lay it all out, to be completely honest and frank with you, but he's certainly giving you a peek as to what goes on in Democrat politics and behind the scenes. If nothing else, as he walks away, which I'm fine with, I don't have much use for him, don't agree with him, but him giving you that look, I think that's as important as any Democrat politician has done in years.
Jerry Nadler has been in office since 1992. He has held the same post for 33 years. God, you want to talk about term limits? Let's
sure,
do term limits.
we can have that discussion.
Let's have a fun discussion about that.
For sure.
That's something else that this ruling class will never let you have a discussion about.
Ever, ever, ever.
In fact, I really enjoyed when I heard Anna Paulina Luna, sweet Anna Paulina Luna, angel face.
Hey, girl.
Who brought up, she talked about this on a couple of different interviews, where she was like, I'm not going to do this job for just, she was like, I'll probably do a term or two. She's like, and then I'm going to get out. Because that was kind of the plan. That was always the idea of this limited government.
Yeah, the founding fathers, that was their plan.
You show up, you take care of your stuff, you leave.
George Washington led the charge on that. He wanted to set the example when he did not run for president again.
And when you ended up having the District of Columbia set up where it is, in part because it's hot. It's not comfortable to be there during the summer. But politicians have now turned it into something comfortable to be at. They just stay in D.C. Here's what I do. Here's where I get my work done. You know, this is, if you want to talk about the threat to democracy, I think that past COVID and past into this period we've gotten into, I think people that have sat in office for 30 or 40 years we've now seen as the real threat to so much of this stuff. If you're an 80-year-old and you're dying in office, and your policies and everything that you went ahead and did was completely self-serving, then you kind of go about it and say, well, hold on, how is this other guy the threat to democracy? He's looking to basically strip you of all your power. And the wild part about Donald Trump, yes, they're executive orders, but I haven't seen one moment where I say, well, that power is completely unconstitutional. And when it ever has been where I go legally, I question it, I've brought it up. I've been like, I don't know if you're going to be able to execute that law the way you're trying to. And sure enough. But have I ever said, wow, that's a complete unconstitutional overreach? No.
Because there's not been any. That's and even New Yorker Magazine, I'd seen this earlier on Twitter. New Yorker Magazine was complaining about Trump going into D.C., the possibility of going into Chicago.
Completely legal.
Right. But their statement was, so far, and it's buried, it's deep in the article, so far Donald Trump has pretty much stayed within the bounds of the law.
Yeah.
He's not done anything that is not lawful, not legal. Now, has he gotten close to the line a few times? Sure.
He's stretched the law to try and apply to his scenario. For instance, when it came to illegal aliens and getting them out, especially this is all gang member oriented, I said the problem is the law that was on the books, you had to have a faction of people that were from another country and that you were at war with, or they were currently creating an insurrection. And I said, I don't believe those conditions have been met. I see what he's trying to do. I see the law he's trying to use, but I don't think it's going to work. And sure enough, it didn't work. But I pointed it out the day of when it was going into effect. I was like, this is going to be hard to do. It was a stretch. It wasn't breaking the law. It was trying to stretch it, and the court said you're stretching it too far.
And then he backed off, just like he's done every other time. When the courts have said, you can't do what you're doing, he's either appealed it or backed off. And that's what the New Yorker Magazine, the leftist New York Magazine, has said about Donald Trump.
So where's the threat to democracy here?
It's Jerry Nadler leaving that little sliver of light coming through, so you can see that they're pushing him out. There's nothing to do with democracy happening.
When you destroy a drug boat and everyone goes, "Oh my God, you used military hardware on drug runners."
Thank you. Yes, we did.
Well, yes, because they've previously already been named a terrorist organization. Why do you think you had these groups named as terrorist organizations? It's so we could introduce military
action against them.
That's
exactly right. And all of a sudden, that Alien Enemies Act is back in play.
Back in play.
Because now you are taking physical military action against Tren de Aragua, so you can use that. I say that. You can likely use that, which is, I think, going to get tested again.
Yeah.
And it's a smart play, man. Nobody can blame Trump for not being smart and using every tool at his disposal.
The people that are surrounding him this time around, it's a
not
very
always going to work.
Group.
No, it's not always going to work.
Because sometimes you're stretching things.
That's
And
exactly right.
I fully admit, there are times where they will take a portion of an existing law and they will stretch the hell out of it. I think the fact that they came after birthright citizenship as quickly as they did, and they've now put that in the courts to have a discussion about, again, I was going through it and saying, here's where I think this ruling would go. Is it stretching things to try and make it executive order in order to get away with to get rid of it, yeah, that's not legal. But
it starts the
conversation. But it starts the conversation.
And then the real work begins.
Yes.
Morning Xtra and Xtra 106.3. When we come back, a new record is being celebrated in the NFL as the season begins tonight. Next on the Morning Xtra on Xtra 106.3 as we wrap up the show.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Thursday, September 4th. The Atlanta Braves, well, their 2-game losing streak is now over as the Bats woke up in Chicago after being no hit for 6 innings. The Braves ended up beating the Cubs 5-1. The final, new Braves shortstop Ha-Sung Kim with a 3-run homer in the 7th inning to break things open. The team is now off today before returning home for a weekend series with the Seattle Mariners beginning tomorrow night. The NFL, it returns tonight as the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will host the Dallas Cowboys to kick off the season from Philadelphia for Thursday Night Football. The Eagles are an 8.5-point favorite tonight. Kickoff is set for 8:20. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guests are FBI Special Agent in Charge Paul Brown and FBI Special Agent Charles Orgbon Jr. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Hey, it's Los here to tell you about a new, stress-free, and completely transparent way to purchase your next pre-owned car, truck, or SUV. It's with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, traditionally, I've been a payment buyer. How do you work with that type of buyer?
I have people that come in all the time and they want to spend $20,000. Okay, if their payments are $400 on $20,000, they don't realize without the doc fees, without all this other stuff, we can put them in a 22 or 23 model car and we can spend a little bit more money and have the same payment. So if you're a payment buyer, don't come in here just saying, I want to spend $20,000, because we can sit there and help you and we can put you in a newer car with lesser miles at a payment you need.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the honest car guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Retirement means different things to different people. Some folks want to travel the world. Some folks want to spend more time with grandkids. For me, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my guitar. Whether extravagant and robust or simple and cozy, every retirement needs a plan. You wouldn't take a trip without directions. You have to know where you are before you know where you're going. Master Plan Retirement Consultants have helped many like you plan for their own retirement. Not only does Master Plan help you create the roadmap, they join you on the journey. So whether you want to travel the world, become a pickleball champ, or just looking for a good porch, a sturdy rocking chair, and an acoustic guitar, remember to plan well, because the destination is worth it. Visit masterplanretired.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Hey Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Attention Warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Alliance Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Alliance Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on Xtra 106.3. Join us on the mission, the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. Getting ready to wrap up the show, but not before we talk about football being back tonight. Goodness gracious, we even got a visit from Freddie Falcon this morning. Not exactly who I expected to see this morning. It was a little surprising to see Freddie rolling into the studio, and he was high-fiving, great mood. And how can you not be when you're a mascot? Is there a better gig than being a mascot? You're happy all the time. Kids love you. People love you. Everybody wants to take a picture with you and shake your hand.
So one of the guys that used to be the Coyote in San Antonio, this guy, he did it for like 20-some years, 30 years. Now, he was like awesome. He was like one of like the great mascots in the NBA. But he did talk about how I think he would lose like 15 or 20 pounds every night from all the sweating. So he's like, you spend the rest of the time trying to put that fluid back in your body. I'm like, that's some work, man.
Those guys are usually really good athletes.
Really good athletes.
Yeah.
Ridiculously good athletes.
And that's a kind of a niche industry, too. People who are mascots by trade.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there are people that really, really take it serious. And, for you and I, it's just, funny mascot, great. But, I mean, these people are, like you're saying, incredible athletes. They take what they do very seriously, and there is a hierarchy for getting hired.
I love when they get all the mascots together for the football game against the kids.
Yeah, they
Blooper was out there a few years ago just stiff-arming kids.
It is really funny to see that.
Tim Dirk, he was the San Antonio Spurs Coyote from 1983 to 2004. He was also the inventor of the T-shirt cannon.
Oh, wow. So he's made some bank on top of...
That's knowing your game. When you do it for 21 years?
Dude. And to invent the T-shirt cannon...
cannon.
It gets used everywhere now.
I've always wanted to shoot a T-shirt cannon. I don't know what it... like.
So, I've never shot a T-shirt cannon, but I've shot something very similar. At least it seems very similar.
Potato gun?
Yep.
Me too.
Buddy, there is nothing more fun than shooting a potato gun.
That is some good redneck fun.
Dude, that is as red as the stripes on the American flag. That is red. And it's glorious. There is nothing better than the old... Have you ever shot one of those?
No.
So it's PVC pipe.
Right.
With a...
like an igniter?
The igniter, like usually from a grill.
Yep.
You would start the grill with the red button. You hit it, boom, and it lights the grill. And what you do is you undo the end of it. You spray a bunch of hairspray in there.
Of course.
And then close it down and hit that igniter. Boom. I mean, potato goes 500 yards.
Yeah, buddy.
It's glorious. It's the most joy you will have in your life. Or at least it was for me.
At least with a potato gun. What fun. Look at it go.
Dude, I'm telling you. We used to we would shoot them at anything and everything. We'd shoot them at, we'd be out in the woods. We'd just shoot them at deer. We'd just shoot them at anything. Deer would they would just scare off. You'd never hit one.
No.
Because they're too quick and swift. But
don't have the velocity for that out of those things.
But it is so much fun. Shoot them at rabbits and squirrels.
Good time.
Dude, it is, yeah. And let me tell you. Not that I would encourage anybody to have drinks and shoot potato guns.
But
if you do, it's fun.
It's fun. Just so you know. So we're keeping track.
Dude.
I had a BB gun when I was growing up and hunting, and that was...
Oh, yeah. BB guns are great.
I still remember my dad pulled over because we had an armadillo that was over probably about like 20 feet away from the truck. And he's like, what damage can you do? He's like, go ahead, you take a shot at it. And I dropped it, like the thing rolled over and died. And my dad's like, what the? Went out and looked at it, and I shot it through the eye.
Oh, my Lord.
So at that point, he was like, Okay.
Yeah,
I guess maybe he can do a little work on this thing.
A guy that both Jerry and I know goes out to Texas, I think once a year, and goes feral hog hunting.
That is some crazy hunting, by the way.
Dude, and it is because they've
overrun North Texas. So you can go on helicopter hunts.
Yep.
You can go on night hunts. All they want is for you to get them off the property. In the same way that like iguanas do a lot of damage in Florida, the feral hog does a tremendous amount of damage in Texas. So if you can get like a 300, 400, 500 pounder, like it's all the bacon you feel like.
You can do it in South Georgia too. And they're thankful for you to come do it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's the one that we started to arrange this, but it just didn't work out. I can't remember the company's name, but it's down in South Georgia. You would they bring you a guide and you get a van and they give you night vision goggles. They drive you around. They've got the thermal sensors and everything. They find you. They put you right on the hogs.
Right.
And you just bust out of the door.
It's like friggin' G.I. Joe or
like
A-Team or something.
Going after, or like the freaking SEAL team going into Iraq. And you're just mowing down hogs.
Yeah, and in the state of Texas, like trapping is illegal unless you're hog trapping.
Just because it's such a problem.
Such a problem.
Prairie dogs too, isn't that something people go hunting a lot out in
do.
Texas? I believe that's another one that the guy that we know that does that. I think he goes out to Texas and just sits down, lays back, and just picks off prairie dogs.
Yeah, guys love to do that for distance shooting, long range sniper shots.
Oh, and by the way, a hog trap, that thing is monstrous. Like we're talking like it takes 4 people to lift that thing up and to put it into position because it has to be able to trap a beast. And a lot of times there's a multitude of hogs that are in there.
Goodness.
You don't want to mess with the feral hog.
No, they are mean. They are mean.
That's what got Robert Baratheon.
It's true. Means nothing to Tug.
I have no idea who that is.
Gored him.
Is that
took him down?
Is that from a movie?
Got a king, man.
Yeah, it took out the king.
Down a king.
He was a little intoxicated. He wasn't able to handle the hog.
There's something poetic about that.
Okay.
There's a lesson there.
Game of Thrones.
No,
it's okay. So the initial king dies while hog hunting.
Are you serious? That's how they got it. That's how they took care of
Well,
him.
he was intoxicated and it gored him.
They got him extra drunk.
He what?
Took him out, and that's how they assassinated him.
That's how they assassinated him.
Using I'm sure a potato rifle or a potato gun.
Boom. They just took him out there.
Why did you shoot me with a potato gun?
They got him drunk and let him hunt for a dangerous animal, and the animal got him.
That is the fun part of those potato guns is they have a great noise. It's like a thum. Yeah,
dude.
It's like a mortar round.
There is nothing more glorious. Los, how excited are you that the NFL is back tonight?
I'm excited. This is my wheelhouse. It's what I enjoy watching as many football games as possible. But I was joining in with the chorus. I'm just glad everybody's coming along. So growing up, we had Doug Williams as like the black quarterback, and then we had Warren Moon. Everyone's like, well, there's just not a lot of black quarterbacks in the NFL. And then we went through this period where it was like, hey, the quarterback position is getting more athletic. And so you'd have a Michael Vick or a Donovan McNabb.
Oh my gosh, Vick was so amazing to watch.
In Dallas, we had Quincy Carter. They drafted
Former
Quincy.
Georgia Bulldog.
Quincy had it together for 1 year. And then, boy, the wheels came off of Quincy in 2004. And then we had another guy, a guy named Antonio Romero. You know what his last name was? Romo.
There you go.
Do you know that?
I didn't.
That is Tony Romo's name.
Okay.
Antonio Romero Romo.
How about that?
So we already had the Hispanic quarterback.
Yep.
Clearly, you've also got Dak Prescott.
Yeah, sure.
But the league had this release that was, some of the people were running with was, for the first time in league history, you have 16 black quarterbacks starting in the NFL. Now, all I'm saying is, where were you in 2001 when I was like, listen, we went with Quincy? Where were you in 04 when I'm like, I got the only Mexican guy over here? Where were you in 2016 when I drafted Dak Prescott? I'm like, here's our guy.
But that was such a narrative for sports radio for such a long time.
For such a long time. And it was such silliness.
They're racist and all these sort of things. And the only thing I say is, that's awesome, man. Whoever's best, put them at that position.
Yes, I don't care. In fact, the idea
Back
that you're
to meritocracy,
that you're keeping track of that, I'm like, can he throw the football? Can he complete? Can he win games? That's all. Now, what's the difference between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen? Don't care. Want them both. If you told me that suddenly Josh Allen turned green, I'd be like, that's so cool Fine, I'll take the green quarterback. I don't care.
Give me Stetquavius. I'll take 2 national championships.
There you go. Doesn't matter.
Because he can run.
Yeah. I mean, Stetson, when he was white, he was okay. Stetquavius, 2 titles.
That's
awesome.
when things changed.
But I think it was last year they were doing the let's do the draft of the all-white team versus the all-black team, and people flipped out about it. But the best part was both sides were claiming Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, it's true. But tonight, you're going to have 2 black quarterbacks, and it's no big deal. It never should have been a big deal.
As it shouldn't be.
I mean, there'll be somebody out there who's like, man, what is going on here? And in fact, what was it? I don't even think it was even a discussion in the Super Bowl last year where it's like, both quarterbacks are black. I'm like, yeah, because they're both really good. Doesn't really matter.
I don't even remember that coming up.
No, nor should it.
Yeah,
it was
right.
Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
Which is surprising that it didn't. And maybe I've not listened to enough sports radio lately, and I missed it last year, which is quite possible. But I don't even remember that being a discussion.
The NFC East, this time around, they were like, for the first time, the NFC East has 4 black starting quarterbacks. It's like, we've always had 3. It was only the Redskins that were trailing. Finally.
Yeah, I loved watching Jalen Hurts play. I mean, he broke Georgia's heart, but he is a good kid and incredibly talented. He's a very faithful kid. Man, I love that kid.
Now, when they go to that tush push,
yeah,
I'm going to lose my mind because I can't stand the tush push. And again, the league's like, well, we won't outlaw it yet this year. All right, you have to deal with it then.
Just the injuries that it causes that? Is that
No, it's just an easy play to pick up a first down. You're basically playing against an offense, and as soon as they get to 1 yard to go, it's tush push, and they get it every time.
Is that? I'm down with it. Give me that. I'll take it. I don't mind that.
It's frustrating.
Figure out how to stop it.
That's right, man. That's. I'm with you on that one. Figure out how to stop it.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draft like a 3-foot quarterback, and what we're going to do is we're going to toss him over the line of scrimmage like a lawn dart.
I would watch it. That sounds fun. Sounds like a real good time.
When he goes over, he's going to go, wee!
Yes. like the pig in the Geico commercial.
And then you're going to say, oh, maybe that should be illegal. I'm like, too bad.
Fine with me, man. I don't care.
Because the tush push is much different.
That'll do it for us. Appreciate you being here. Beck is up next. And don't forget the local afternoon show this afternoon at 3 with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. For Los and Jure, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.